Oh, you scurvy dogs out there. Welcome back. It's a message in a bottle. It's the HEX Late Show, where we talk about the special, the one and only, the HEX and only HEX. Now, I know you've been out there at sea bobbing around and you know, the rudder's broken, the wind's blown in, but that's the reason why you got scurvy. But guess what? Over yonder, there is a portent in a storm, and the greens are available. They're just ahead over yonder. The future of investing is here, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. Here we go. And we're in to the HEX Late Show. Day 43, my man. How are you, Mr. Anchor?
What's going on? What is going on, uNrekt?
Oh,
what is happening, bro?
You know, everything. Millions. Living the dream. What can I say?
It's a nice time to be stacking those bags, man, right now.
That's it. I'll tell you what, if entry, I've entered a few people into the game, and they're getting into it. People are starting to switch on and find out that this is the best thing. It's the first blockchain CD. It's the highest appreciating asset. It is, no middleman. You run the code, no bank. Low inflation. It's 100% uptime. Everything's good. HEX is wonderful. It's a game changer in the crypto space. Would you agree?
It is.
Yeah,
it is. And right now, you can get a T-share for as cheap as $1,100.
Wow. Well, that's really interesting. Yeah, very good value. Very good value. The value proposition in HEX is second to none. There's still meat on the bone if you're coming in. And I think there's a misconception or a cultural thing within HEX, or not within HEX, but within the broader sense of crypto that, like you've got to get in early and you got to be an early, seed investor or whatever. But that's not the case. This is how it should be done. I mean, you can get in, treat it like a bank, treat it like a little bit of a savings account. But guess what? There's no middleman in HEX, is there? And why is that? Why is there no middleman in HEX?
Because that's the way the code's been written. It's been written as immutable code that's got no admin keys. No one can go in and mess with it, change it. And it what it ends up doing is it instills confidence as a user of the system. It instills confidence. Like, I've got confidence in the system because I don't have to rely on some dude to, pull levers to make sure that everything works, So, man, I have a high degree of confidence in the contract. I mean, it's had 100% uptime for basically 2 years. Not many cryptos can. Not many, and I say cryptos. Not many cryptos do that. And I've heard people saying that HEX is not a crypto. In the last,
come on, it's the only crypto. It's the only crypto to be involved in. I mean, come on. If you're in crypto's currency and you're not looking at HEX and you haven't heard of it, then you're not doing it right. You can go back under your rock and whatever, because to me, it's like liberation, it's freedom, it's empowerment, and it's everything crypto should be. And it's like better than Bitcoin in my opinion. But like, I mean, I've only just, I'm not an expert. Don't believe what we say.
I think it beats. I got to be honest. I think it beats Bitcoin on almost every single metric. Like, I would say there's only one metric I think that Bitcoin's got on HEX, and that would be network effect. And that's just because it's been around for 12 years,
advantage.
As opposed to 2 years. But on every other count, I think HEX does it better. On every single other count, I think HEX does it better. And if you disagree, I urge you to go to hex.com/tech specs and have a read, because it's laid out for you. It's got all the info on Bitcoin, and it's got info on HEX and how they compare, and it's worth a read. It really is. It's excellent info there.
And that's probably one of the things that, like, when I first came across hex.com and looked at the tech specs and read through that, I find that really fascinating. I learned so much. But guess what? The other thing is about HEX, it rewards honesty. So we're not out here shilling garbage. We're not out here compromised. We're just like real people. Want to talk about, we love HEX and we enjoy it, and we've got it. We're involved, and it's like, I'm not saying I'm all that in a bag of chips, but it's pretty good. Like,
and also we're throw this out. We're unpaid. We come on stream and we do it because just the passion. We like the contract. We think the contract is something special. It's different. It has nothing like this has ever existed in this space before. And that's why we come on stream and give up our time. And speaking of giving up their time, I've got Bloobum and Jexxa here with us.
Hey, boys.
How you going, guys?
Hi, guys.
You
You didn't tell me this was for free.
Oh, hey, there's unique tools in HEX.
Give me a check.
You got to stake your HEX to get paid, bro.
You got to have a nice set of tricks for that. Yeah.
How are we?
Yeah, good. Hey, Day 43. How much does a T-share pay out in HEX?
How much does it pay out?
Yeah. Each day.
On average, about 5.8 HEX per day.
So about a month and a half ago, how much did it pay out?
A month and a half. Was it a month and a half ago when that big one happened?
No, last week it was.
No trick questions. A month and a half ago, how much was the average, you reckon?
You reckon it's going up, is it? Like 5.7?
No, I reckon it's about the same. Maybe a smidge different.
Yeah, I reckon it's about the same.
A month and a half ago, you had to pay $10,000 to get a T-share.
There you go. It's on special at the moment. It's bargain prices for T-shares at the moment. I'm not joking. I am not joking. Are you trying to get more T-shares before the Pulse fork, which is happening at some time in the not too distant future? Now's a good time, I would say, to be getting more T-shares, in my opinion.
For sure.
But you need to do your own research. You need to do your own research and do what's good for you, you know? All right, what's going on, Sammy? Where are you?
Hey,
there we go.
How you going?
Sammy, how you going, darling? What's going on?
Yeah, good. So hot down here in Melbourne today. It's good beer drinking weather.
You have to do it.
I'm on a Canadian club tonight. There you go. Look at that, beautiful ginger ale.
Nice. I'm on the Pepsi Max. Hey,
I thought you were floating around in a boat over that way.
What? Flood?
I thought you had the floods there.
No, not here in Melbourne. I don't know, maybe New South Wales, but
New South
is it?
Okay.
Maybe. What's going on, guys? What are you talking about?
Hey, a few days ago, I got drunk with some developers who were all building stuff on ETH.
I think the ETH developers are always drunk, aren't they?
It explains a lot. It explains a lot.
They're extracting value, aren't they? Yeah.
It was pretty funny, hey? It was like we're all sitting around and we're all sort of like, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then someone picks up their phone and goes, oh, I think there's a hack. And like there was some company that they look like a market maker that they give because they had a DAO, right? And they gave their token to that market maker, and that market maker was in the middle of a hack. And so they're all just sitting around like getting drunk and stuff and like, oh shit, I think we were hacked. And then a bit of time goes by and then like, should we do something with the multi-sig? And then they start like, yeah, maybe we should call, and then they should like, maybe we should call this person or that person and stuff. And then a bit more time goes by and it was like, this is like late at night and stuff. And I'm like going, how much money do you have in there? Like, and there's about $1 million of liquidity in it. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, wow. Were they in the HEX, Bluey?
Pardon?
Were they in the HEX?
No, they hardly knew anything about HEX. I was chewing their ear off about it. And they had never heard of Pulse either. They didn't know it was happening at all. And they are in a company which have a number of different projects on ETH. But anyway, like after a while, they're kind of looking at their phones and they're going, "Oh no, it's okay. Our vault was whitelisted," and that was it. It was like, but there was this moment where it was just like, "Holy shit! Am I just witnessing $1 million hack in real time?" And they were just like, "Oh no, we're okay."
Jesus.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting.
So many people are not going to know that all their freemium that they're going to get on the PulseChain.
Yeah, well, I was telling them about it, and the thing is, right? They're developing a few different kind of things. But one of the things they're developing is like a derivatives platform. But what they're using is Arbitrum, and it takes them. After you put your money, Arbitrum is an optimistic roll up, like one of the sort of scaling technologies for Ethereum. But after you put your money after you put your stuff onto that roll up, it takes a week to get back.
Oh.
I was just thinking, like, you guys are nuts. Like, why are you developing on this? This is just a dead end. Like, so I was telling them about Pulse and stuff, and we'll see what happens. They invite.
So you can move quicker between 2 layer 1s than you can between the layer 2.
Yeah.
That's going to go well, isn't it?
Yeah. What we're going to do is you'll get into arguments about sufficiently decentralized and what's really decentralized. That's what it'll, and how much security is it. But it was really interesting. They were really kind of nice guys and really open to hearing stuff. And I also asked them about, like, when ETH 2.0 comes along, what's to stop the miners from just keeping on with their chain? And they were, like, kind of thinking about it and going, like, it hadn't even occurred to them. And like, but they were thinking about it and they're going, well, nothing really. Like, they could just, it's just a fork. Yeah, they could just keep on going.
You could end up with 2 networks out of each. Like, I find it really hard to believe that the miners are going to take this lying down and just go, hey, you know what, guys, throw their hands up in the air and say, yeah, we're done making $1 squillion off of all your fees.
They thought
the miners. That Australian.
Do you know what
developers in Australia? Are they Australian guys or where were they?
They're all Aussie dudes. Oh, yeah, right. All Aussie guys. Yeah.
So the issue for the miners is they could continue on with the chain, but if the fees aren't reduced significantly, drastically, no one's going to use their chain.
That's true. Yeah.
Or are they? They are now. When they could easily go to,
but you got no other. You got no.
No, they can go to all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of other options now.
No, but not with system state. So the beacon chain is going to have
Matic. There's
no, but it doesn't have system state. Okay, and the beacon chain will have system state, and Pulse is going to have system state, and they're going to be. Hopefully, they will both be cheaper, right? So if they want to continue on, and with their, whatever they're doing, it's going to have to be cheaper. There's going to have to be a reason to use it. And if there isn't, people will just abandon it. Happily abandon it because they're the assholes who are making us pay so much.
Yeah. They seem to think like your friend OG, like when you spoke to your friend who's an ETH miner, they reckon that the miners will just go start mining on other chains.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're getting less and less proof of work chains. More of them are proof of stake these days. So where are they going to keep going?
The guy I spoke to said, I'll just go mine Ethereum Classic or Litecoin or something.
Yeah, that'd be.
That's irony, isn't it? Like Ethereum Classic is still going. Like, why? Who's using it?
Miners.
So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the normal ETH keeps going, just like Ethereum Classic has kept going. And even if it is 51% attacked, it'll still keep going. Basically, people are really.
The Ice Age makes it. The Ice Age makes it like harder and harder. The difficulty gets like harder and harder. So they'll have to actually change the code, and the miners would have to get together and have the code changed in a way that reverses whatever that is.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
like they've all just got to agree to run a different bit of software,
and it's only a handful of pools, so it's really just a handful of people who would decide to do it.
Hey, can we do a bit of a shout out to the chat? Welcome to all the Hexagon community. It's a community service. We provide a bit of a conversation. Hopefully, the information is valuable to you, and we do appreciate the patronage and everyone that comes and watches us on every Tuesday night. We're on at the same time every week on the Discourse Syndicate Network, and the whole thing is right. We want to scale this. We want to get this out to the world and let people discover that this is actually a pathway to financial freedom, and it is the future of investing. It really is. And if you're not in cryptocurrency now, you really should have a look at it, because what's going on in the broader sense and the macro sense is quite disturbing. And people, we just want to help people. We want to help them to understand that, like, you don't have to do your dough every week when you get paid. You can actually invest and save for your future. Not like you could in the old days, but you can't anymore when you have a bank account, because the banks aren't actually working for you. They take your money and they use it for themselves. So they're not really good customers. That's why we always talk about no middlemen. We always talk about the 40% APY at the moment in HEX is probably a little bit of indicative of the adoption. Adoption is really the key thing. We can do so much more. We can empower so many more people to make have good lives and do things to make the world a better place if they discover this. And that's what this is about. It's outbound messaging. It's really just tell your friends, your neighbours, the people that you care about that hey, maybe this is worth having a look at. And HEX rewards honesty, and I think that's the best thing. The human behaviours and the things like that. The fact that it can do the mathematics and the code runs 24/7, 100% uptime, and it calculates all of these highly technical, or not highly, but like there's advanced mathematics in real time everywhere around the world. Like, it's amazing. It's like there's nothing like this. It's a true innovation.
That's true. It is unique, absolutely unique. Hey, shout out to Crypto King from HEX Asians. How are you going, mate? Crypto King is always organising stuff. He's always organising interviews and guests for shows. So shout out to him. He's a HEX community member who really contributes quite a bit.
Boom, boom. Crypto King and Emma Bones and Retro Static in London, who are going to miss the Richard Hart meeting because Retro Static just had his tonsils out. So hope you're feeling better.
Sammy.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're not too cold over there.
Sammy, darling, can you share some love for Richard Hart with us, mate? Can you tell us how much you love Richard Hart? Please, you tell us about the man.
You want me to tell you about
You're the right person. Yeah. What? Are you infatuated with him?
Yeah. I love Richard Hart. He's so special and unique, and he's the best founder ever. And he's going to be in London in 3 days, and everyone's looking forward to going and meeting him. And they're doing the documentary over there, so don't forget, if you're going, it's all attire at the party. There's going to be food, drinks, and Rich is going to be there, and Hexicans are going to be there. So it'll be awesome.
Congratulations to everyone who's going to that.
Are we expecting any sort of announcement, or you think it's just going to be get together? Doco crew filming. Reckon there's any surprises?
Doco crew all going over.
He'll have something up his sleeve.
Tangent's got a theory.
I've got Did you see me
Tanja's got a theory.
For it?
Oh, let's hear it.
I've got what everyone's guesses was. So Sammy was meetup/exchange. Jexxa, new big player /celebrity. Bloobum, some massive marketing thing, campaign, or some massive marketing item. Day 43.
I think he was going to buy the airline. What's that jet? What's that airline?
British Airways.
Buy British Airways.
Tangent was movie announcement. I don't even know what I meant by that. uNrekt was love affair /dick pics. and RG3 had nothing. But I've got a new one. I've got a new one. Crypto quant fund investment. Announcement of a crypto quant fund investing into HEX. That's my new guess.
What even is that?
Because I heard Willy Woo said, like, Willy Woo's in tight with all these quant funds, and he said that they will not look at assets that don't have a minimum of 2 years history. And so, guess what's about to happen on day 731?
Yeah. Wow.
That's a long bow, but look.
I know.
Hey, we're all about the long bows on the HEX Late Show. Hey, shout out to Cabana Crypto from Happy Hour on a Friday evening.
Love you, mate. Love you. We love the Happy Hour. Yeah. Now they having a season break or something at the moment. What's going on there?
No, they've been going.
Oh, business as usual. That's good.
Business as
I know
usual.
I know there's a few. I think Motley's over. I think one of Motley's over in London. He's going over there. I just follow. I kind of loosely follow a few people on Twitter, and I try to gauge sentiment off Twitter, but I don't. Obviously, not an expert at it, but yeah.
Hey, massive. Yeah. Let's give a massive shout out to the Hexicans in the UK.
Yes,
in the UK.
I watched the UK stream the other day. Yeah, man.
Oh, did you?
I watched that. Yeah, I watched them. They've got a stream. There's a guy called Hexy Bastard or something like that.
Yeah,
and they're like, they talk proper English and everything, and they're like it's good, eh? It's really funny. I find them quite entertaining, and they're smart too.
We're actually planning a collab. We're planning a collab stream either on his channel or my channel.
Oh, right, eh? Awesome. Well, nice. That'd be good. Well, how you been, Tanja? What's been going on, mate? I know you've been. I saw something popped up on my phone today. Said, "Is HEX a shitcoin?" Like, what's going on, mate?
Yeah,
that's clickbait there, right? That's clickbait right there.
It's clickbait. It's clickbait. The answer was no, it's not. But that stream is actually one of my most highly complimented streams that I've ever done. So there was the Freddie Quotes music video reaction video that I did. That one, I got heaps of people messaging me about that. This particular one, that is HEX a shitcoin, because that was another reaction video to a video that someone did about how you categorize the items that might lead to something being a shitcoin, or things that you can like add together to detective whether it's a shitcoin. And then there was one other stream that I forgot that I got a lot of messages about, being like, dude, that was like an epic stream.
Good work, mate.
So yeah. So the answer was no. If spoiler alert, it's not a shitcoin.
Mate.
But you know what?
I'm glad you told me that. I was just about to
You know what?
What have we been doing here for fucking 2 years? Hey?
You know what, Tangent? That video that you referenced, that you went through, guy's video.
Yeah.
My guess, because I saw that video before you went through it, and my guess was that he was trying to target HEX.
So you also got that vibe.
Yeah, I got that vibe.
I thought that as well. I thought he was trying to say it without saying it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he doesn't open himself up to liability of getting sued or getting
getting attacked by Hexicans. He's never mentioned HEX at all. He's never reviewed it. He's never like done anything about it. And I think it's getting to the stage now where it's kind of like he hasn't looked into it enough to know about it. He's just looked at it at the surface and he's made assumptions about it. And so that's why he made that video. That he doesn't want to get kind of like...
It's also possible that we're like taking it personally because from our mindset of thinking about HEX that we, he might not have...
absolutely.
Completely accidental.
It just seemed too... I don't know.
HEX Machine reckons 100%.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was.
So I didn't get to catch it. So he was shit canning it, or
no? He was going through all the things that make a shitcoin, right?
Just going through a list of things that he thinks could be indicators that something is a shitcoin. But what he means by shitcoin is like a bad shitcoin, like a shitcoin. A shitcoin you want to avoid.
Yeah. And you think
in my opinion,
pass with flying colours?
In my opinion, the only category that he had that I think HEX can fall into in a negative way is the cult-like following. Everything else, that's
what you want in a.
I don't think even applies to HEX.
Yeah,
if you have a cult-like following, that's the bomb, man.
I wouldn't call it.
No.
It's community.
He's not saying it's bad for price appreciation. He's just saying it could be an indicator, like if people are too full.
It's not cult, it's community.
You call a Bitcoin maxis a cult?
I would say that it's a terrible indicator. I would say that
it means a community that is enthused, basically. I mean, it's just a derogatory way of saying people who are really into something.
Yeah.
Like
that's actually a good counter, Jexxa, because the Bitcoin maxis are actually some of the most cultish.
Well, a cult implies people who don't think, who just do like what they're told.
Oh yeah, follow the leader.
So it's a completely derogatory way of kind of looking at a community. But it's just like HEX is the opposite of that. Like there's all sorts of like differing opinions within the HEX community. Like we argue like no one's business. There's dramas all over the place. Like We hardly agree on stuff. Or like,
Occasionally we do.
I think he was mainly referring to like
Hey.
the extreme passion level, like the exuberance. So you've got things like CrossFit, you've got like
CrossFit's a cult.
like Isogenics and Herbalife and stuff like that, where you see the buzz that they get within that community, and some of those are scams and some of them are not scams, right? Like, as in, I don't think CrossFit's a scam, but I don't.
CrossFit's not a scam. How can you call CrossFit a scam?
Kind of scams you into getting injuries, but like, but yeah, you guys get what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Nope. And you're at it.
And gone.
Oh, I assumed that was my end because you guys said sometimes I'm a bit chopped.
No, everyone is on full bars at the moment, apart from Sammy.
Okay.
She was just on one bar.
Okay, just on this whole dynamics.
Come
of
back,
tokens
Sammy. I've got half a bar for you right here.
Just half a bar for Sammy, mate. Is that all?
So far.
She'll be upset.
Lucky she's got thick skin.
What
So
you about to say, Jexxa?
on token dynamics, I don't know if any of you guys caught a tweet from a Bitcoin dude talking about HEX, the HEX design. I don't know if you guys caught a tweet.
Someone's got their video.
Sammy.
Lag. Massive lag.
We all good?
Yep.
So there was a tweet went out, and Richard chimed in as well and went back and forth with this guy.
Oh.
And I don't know how prominent he is. It was seemed like a Bitcoin guy, had, I don't know, 3,000 odd followers. So not a massive account, but he was applauding HEX for its design from the algorithmic point of view.
Oh yeah.
In the
I
fact
saw
that it's just it's just like a pure play crypto,
Nice.
which is really interesting. So I don't know whether he's a Hexagon or whether he's affiliated in any way, or whether he was just genuinely piping his head in and having a look and seeing what was going on, and actually respecting and understanding the design and sort of respecting it for what it was and how it works. The fact that it can't be changed. It's just leave it to the code, the game theory play out, and
He sort of said it was like a new sort of way of doing crypto. Sort of was moving to that.
Yeah, and he was saying this could be not the benchmark, but it could set the scene for a lot more algo-based coins to come out. So, look, we've seen others, but probably definitely not as solid as the way HEX is built. That's for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
I heard that as well. Like I remember hearing that as well.
What's that about? What's that comment from Cabana Crypto? Is that what you're talking about just now?
Yeah. So last week I mentioned it, where Rich was on stream, and he made it was just a toss away comment where he said something along the lines of HEX might get listed by one of the biggest credit card issuers in the space. And this is obviously off the back of, this is just after HEX had got listed on the Crypto.com DeFi wallet. And then he made that comment, and it was out there. No one ever mentioned it, or it just slid by. And I don't know whether it was...
we talked about that. And the thing is that Tangent mentioned last week about the Crypto.com card and I know we're not, this is a HEX-centric station, but like, you know what? That little tier thing with the different metal cards really appeals to women. And I just know, like, just because as a study of human behavior, women love that shit because they look at it and they want to get the next. You know, they like all the different colors of the cards and that. You know what I mean?
I was actually looking. I was just looking at the different tiers. Just
is that a different sort of a way of looking at it? Like you got to actually, you know, as we talk about, you lock up your Crow, and then they issue you with like a Visa debit card, and then you can. I'm not sure if you have to actually exchange it into the currency like some of the other ones where you have to go from ETH to Australian dollar, and they clip the coupon on the way through. I'm not sure if it's like that. I've never used it.
They have named them.
I've just been looking at the app. I'm just looking at the app at the moment myself.
Like precious, like they've got sapphire, rose
Ruby,
gold, diamond. Like you're right that they have named them after like, ruby. It's all like I think jade is the green one, and then I think the only one.
I showed that to some girls.
You're
I showed
right,
that to some girls, and they
precious stones,
downloaded the
mate.
app and they went mental over it. They went, I want this one. I want this one. You know what it feels like?
I don't think the like the credit card thing. That's neither here nor there. I think what's more important is the on-ramp features of the market that would give you access to if it did get listed on Crypto.com. That's
the more important thing. Yeah, what you're saying is.
Yeah, we
exactly.
ride
it's
off.
Just
a little bit of
a lot of money on
just something observation that I noticed. Someone that I'll be talking in the real world.
Hex gets the benefit of all of their work. Yeah.
Yep. So,
well, I mean, it's a two-way street. They get the benefit of our awesomeness as well. Like, as in, it's both ways. Yeah.
And I know you've had one of these for a while, Tanja. Do you see a pattern, or have you noticed a pattern where things get listed on the DeFi wallet first, and then?
Oh, I haven't monitored that because I just ignored all the other coins that they have listed pretty much completely. Like I just fund it and spend it. Like I haven't really looked at which coins are doing what and what, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
But it would be interesting.
Because I think Coinbase usually does something like that as well, don't they? It's more like a little signal they send out before something.
Yeah. There's many examples within the crypto space where they've got kind of like two products, like an advanced product, you know, like Coinbase and Coinbase whatever, and then there's other ones that have got that shit as well, where they've kind of got different stuff, and then when a coin ends up on one, you know it's basically going to go on the other one eventually.
Hey, dudes. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, any ideas what the name of this thing's going to be called? This swapping this DEX? Yeah.
Oh, because he said it's not going to be pulse swap, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we should talk about. We should talk about it. Hey, like we don't really know many.
Unipulse, something like that.
What's it going to be called?
We don't. No one knows.
He might have actually just been saying that as a diversionary tactic, so that fuckers don't go and start like listing, like taking all the names and like listing fake tokens called Pulse Swap. He's like, yo, it's not going to be called that, and then he might just be like, actually, it is. I was just sending the like scammers on a wild goose chase to go like making other names and shit, and then it's not, because Pulse Swap would be pretty much the right name, right? That sounds legit. That's what I would.
You got to give it a food or a dog or like an animal name or something, don't you? Like, that's the trend.
I like Hex Dex.
Yeah.
He wouldn't
do that though, would he?
No, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't call it Hex, but I just like Hex Dex.
I didn't realize that matcha is the green tea powdered drink, right? Because I just thought it was like referring to the fact that it's matching buyers with sellers, like matcha, until I saw the logo one day in the bar and I was like, holy shit, they're also doing the food thing, but they've done it in a way where it's actually very subtle. So I like that one. I think matcha is good.
Crypto King said it's going to be called Cum Swap, as in Cum Swap. Come over here and swap.
That goes in line with everything.
Nothing wrong with a bit
the
of bodily
thing.
fluid exchanges there.
How about shit pile? Because you go there to dump your shit coins. Like, just call it toilet swap, because it's where you take your shit coins there and then you just get other shit coins.
Well, that's what that's
not very enticing, mate.
All those food coins. That's not going to do a very good job of marketing, is it? Cool.
So what do you guys reckon about another sack phase then?
It's awesome, even though money left.
I'm on the fence until I actually see some of the design aspects.
I got to say, I'm going to definitely participate, but I have sack fatigue. Absolutely have sack fatigue.
I saw a comment.
You don't know how good you got it, you married men. You married men out there don't know how good you got it. Hey, It's like easy on tap
true,
all the time. You get your sack drained on the daily, and everything's good. Sack fatigue.
I
Is that
saw
what you're
one
talking about?
comment that said
You make your bed,
would like that.
you
This
sleep in it.
person didn't have anything against the sacrifice phase per se, but they said it would have been nice to have, like, as in, seen how the first product resulted from the first sacrifice phase before there's another sacrifice phase. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in, like,
So my
sense.
take on it, and it may not be
I'll just
popular.
get these two fairy balls out of the way for you. How's that? Apparently that's distracting. The dangling nuts.
I think Richard knows a guy.
These are Christmas dongles, Australian ones, a kangaroo and an emu. So see how
Richard's
I like.
got a hater that can hook you up, man. He'll gobble those
right.
things up.
If you're a wreck pleb, he comes suck my nuts.
I
Right.
can't believe it's nearly Christmas. It's just around the
Were you
corner.
about to say something, Jexxa?
Was I about to say something? I was
I
going to say. So I was going to say this may not be popular opinion, but generally, governance tokens issued for LP rewards are best used for LP rewards.
See, that's the thing.
Mate.
Like,
I missed
these
that.
things, these things are going to.
I agree.
So these things are going to have a high emission rate. They're going to be like printing them like no one's business because they're going to be given as rewards to people who are providing liquidity. So it's probably going to be highly inflationary. But then if you look at the pancake swap model, they do all sorts of weird shit. Like they give out tons of them, they burn a whole lot of them, and then have another bit for a lottery, and then do all this other kind of stuff to try to. And then people can stake them, and so that's kind of locking them up.
Bluey, I don't even know if these like the mechanisms that like are in these systems are meant for us. Like when I say us, I mean like people like you, me. We've got a very sort of we like HEX. We like the way HEX works. That's where we're going to stake things, and that's where we're going to make our yield. That's sort of our way of thinking. But I don't think these things are really being designed to being aimed at us. I think they're being designed to entice people who are just going to be coming over and claiming their free tokens, right? Those people, which are different, they're going to come in with a different mindset to us. So those people are going to need something that entices them to not just exit the system, right? So coming up with a system that keeps them in it needs to be there. It's going to be an important part of the game theory.
And it does make sense
to do that though, right? Like you can.
Well, it does make sense that he wants people to value whatever those tokens are, and so if you make it a sacrifice, then people have actually paid real money for them. So then they're going to they won't just dump them as soon as it starts or as soon as they get gifted it. You know what I mean? I mean, Richard knows all of this. That's the thing that I'm most curious about because he knows all of this and he will have gone one step further in terms of like, okay, what am I going to make these tokenomics? How am I going to solve this little gamified riddle?
Yeah. And that goes back to why I'm happy just to sit on the fence until I understand a bit about that.
Yeah.
Now,
that's what will be really interesting. That's what'll be the really interesting thing. How's Richard going to tweak it? Like he's going to make it a bit different somehow. So what's he going to do to make it different? It's going to be really interesting.
And there's also the fee, the little switch you can flick in Uniswap that will generate some fees from the trading. So that could go back to token holders, it never does that on any other.
Oh, really? Platform. That 0.03%? I thought they'd get that automatically.
No, that goes to liquidity providers.
Yeah. Oh, that's something different we're talking about.
No, so there's the 0.3% that goes to liquidity providers, and then there's a switch that they can enable where that extracts a little bit of that for like developers. Now, if that extraction was then passed on to the token holders, whether it was burnt, it was used to buy back tokens or whatever, however it was done, maybe that's another little dynamic you can add. So now that token starts to either generate yield or it's brought back in some way, or some other feature like that where you become a.
How do we think the two because there was the PulseChain sacrifice that's been talked about, and now there's this I'm going to call it Pulse Swap sacrifice. So you've got these two sacrifices, and they really are sort of aimed at the same group of people, with the same amount of free money to sacrifice. So the question is, what effect is that going to have? Like, when is one sacrifice? When's the other one? And is it going to divide? Like, what's going to happen? It's interesting to know. And is it going to be competitive in that respect? I don't know. I'm very interested to see how it plays out.
How many people are sitting in Pulse chat that didn't get into the sacrifice? That would probably be pretty chuffed to have a crack at something.
That's a good point.
Else.
There are people that have just
I just don't know whether this is the smartest play.
They went and sacrificed anyway. Like, remember?
Yeah.
Those mofos just went in late.
Honestly, though, they're still better off just buying HEX and like doubling it and like getting Pulse if they really wanted it on the other side from their HEX Pulse.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't. They're not coming from the HEX angle. They're coming from.
See, the thing is, people are looking for the bright new toy. They want to jump on the new thing because they think that's going to be the thing that rockets up really, really quickly. And everyone is like wants that feeling of like everyone's a degenerate gambler basically, and like they want that feeling of like the big win. You know what I mean? The thing that goes up like that. And it's like,
yo, guys, I know that this has been shown a billion times, but you know that thing where you're talking about something and then you fucking open your phone up and your phone has decided to like bring up that exact thing. You know how we were talking about fucking Crypto.com? I literally this was not where my phone was at on Twitter. I literally unlocked it and it's the Crypto.com ad. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway,
to you,
that OPSEC's not working, bro. It's not working.
I know, right? This is it. Did you see my video? This is the one. This is the
fucking. They're pushing it hard. They're saturating. Now
they're already in it, man. They're already in there.
It's probably app specific, right? Like, because I've got Twitter on the phone. Twitter's probably still bugged, even though the rest of the phone is secure.
No, they're just pushing it hard, dude. They're just advertising it at fuckloads. Like they're putting it's all over the place. Like they're getting sports teams. They're like doing UFC. They're throwing big money into Crypto.com. Like I just got an email the other day, like trying to get me the card. Now, I looked at it and I didn't look that like they were cards were that great a deal, to be honest.
No, I've got a little bit that I staked ages ago, just the lowest tier card, but there's no way. Like you've got to lock up.
Like why would you lock up $5,000? Like
you've got to lock up
higher tier if you want the top. Yeah, the higher tier cards.
The highest one was $500,000. It's like why on earth would you lock up?
I get it back. It's just locked up for 6 months.
Yeah, as long as
I think the bull market will be ended by then.
Exactly.
But before we move on, I just want to make one more comment about the Pulse Swap sacrifice. At the risk of this just being another addition to the long list of things that I said that I would do differently, and then it ends up being proven that Richard was actually right. There are 2 ways that I would have done it that before I would do it like this, right? The first way would have been no sacrifice, no airdrop. The token only just gets distributed as a reward to people providing liquidity, and that's
that makes sense. Yeah.
And then the second way would have been airdropping a small amount, like a very small, quite a small ratio to the original sacrifice set, and then people earning it out of providing liquidity. And I guess the reason I would have done it like that is, to me, that's what that original sacrifice set was meant to be. It was meant to be a set of people who other projects can airdrop to. And so if Richard doesn't airdrop to that sacrifice set for a new project, how could we ever expect a not Richard founder to airdrop to that sacrifice set? Do you get what I'm saying? It's not really leading by example.
I guess the thing is you want to have. Yeah, I guess the thing is that you want to create an immediate market, And so if people are just getting it rewarded to them, what's the incentive for people who aren't being liquidity providers to?
No, you're not just getting it for free. You have to provide liquidity. So
yeah, no, but I'm
incentivizing
saying, yeah, but you kind of need to put a market. You need to create a market and have a value and have a
the
speculative
market
kind of.
creates itself, man. Like, look at every other coin, right? There's buyers and sellers. That's how the market gets created. So
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you could add some other additional tokenomics as an afterthought, where you can also say stake that token, like what PancakeSwap does, where you can then stake cake for additional cake, right? Which creates a demand. So there is a demand for the token itself.
Well, let's talk about trading transparency then. Let's just bring this back around to what the show's about, the HEX. And that's all great. Those on board. I think the on ramps and off ramps and getting people into crypto easily and efficiently is really important, because particularly for new users, people that haven't been around crypto for any length of time, or they're just discovering this new world or this new paradigm, so to speak. Onboarding is really important, and the gas fees are a showstopper for some people. They really are. Like, I mean, I've onboarded several people in the last few days, and
Showstopper for everyone.
It's hurting all even existing hexagons that have been around the game for any length of time, and it's really important to get that to make it simple and practical, so that people don't have that are, I guess, technophobes or challenged. Like I must admit, I struggle with some of the technical stuff myself. But
that
HEX has trading transparency, but
that's
straight
the
off
trading
the blockchain.
uNrekt, that's the opportunity that people got to get off their ass and do a bit of work.
Yep.
So
no, it's fair dues.
Like I'm all for making it easier, but the moment when it is the least amount of friction, you've already, and especially now at this particular point in time, you've lost a lot of opportunity if you just can't get off your ass and do a couple of extra steps.
That's
if
right.
if you can't do that, it's going to cost you big time. So, and event, you hear how many stories do you hear where people go, "Oh, someone told me about Bitcoin when it was $2 and I didn't listen."
Oh no!
We're going to see that. We're going to see that play out.
A lot of people, you hear that all the time, don't you? When you talk to
the
people.
Last couple of weeks, that's what I've been saying to everyone. Everyone who I know has been still fence sitting about the whole, the whole HEX thing. I've been saying to them, guys, look, if you wanted an opportunity, right now this is
right
sort
now
of your
opportunity. It just feels like a coiling spring, isn't it? It's like all of these people have made these gains. They're all just cashing out now. And it's just it's just they're cashing out and cashing out and cashing out and cashing out. And as they leave, they can't sell more. Like all they can do is buy. And and it's just it's going to, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it feels like now's a great time to get in.
And that's the thing. There's still more demand than supply. There's still more demand than supply. So Tangent, and speaking of trading transparency, and what are the chart telling you? Because with HEX, the chart is an honest chart. It's straight off the blockchain, and some of these exchanges, and I've heard this, and I think Richard Hart has said it before, that the exchanges are manipulating that they're not getting their data directly from the blockchain. There's a latency or a lag when you're on those trading platforms that isn't directly from the blockchain. Now that to me, I find that that's unethical. It's immoral. It's not right. And yes, we can laugh about the degenerates and the people that want to just come in and get they want 200. They want to put their $200 in and win Lambo and all that garbage. But what is the chart telling you, mate, from a technical perspective? Because I'm thinking I've seen a few things. I said try to gauge sentiment off Twitter and try and look at the chart. It's a beautiful chart, by the way. I love that chart, and to me it's like you're in the buy zone now. This is a really good entry point if you're new and you want to work out how to get into crypto. Buy HEX now. is a really, really good opportunity to actually see some really good outsized gains. I mean, we're already seeing the HEX Flex and the people that have gone out and made it and don't have any worries about working and doing things like that. I mean, Richard Hart is probably responsible for making more millionaires than I know. I mean, I've seen them all. Like they're in the community, they're out there. People have made mad gains in HEX. We're probably some of them as well. So, what are you seeing, Tangent?
Yeah,
what do
you
reckon,
absolutely
mate?
nailed it when you said that comment about the buy zone. I've had this green box here drawn as a support zone / buy zone between 19 and 17 cents. And you can see how well these dips have respected it. I did get a little bit scared when we were trading below, because obviously if we close significantly below that zone, then it's it's shot and we'd probably head down to, well, maybe not that low, but it's down to another level. But as you guys were talking about it, I just measured from the all-time high down to the lowest point of this dip, and it's over 70%. And when you think, because in my opinion, we are in a macro bull market, like a crypto bull market, if you've got a quality coin that has dipped 70%, it's very unlikely to go lower than that. That's a huge dip for a mid bull market quality alt. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm pretty.
So what
I
you're saying
agree
is
with you, mate. I agree, Tangent.
I
the
agree
risk
too,
reward
mate.
ratio is well in your favour, is what you're saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
That's
with
a good way of
staking, it's even
putting it.
better. And when you stake, it's even less risk. I think that it's almost like a triple bottom line risk management. I mean, obviously not financial advice or anything like that. You press the green button, you press the red button yourself. It's up to you. But what you're saying, what we're seeing here on this chart is saying, well, you know what? If we study the I guess the trends and what it's done previously, and we also talked about it last week. We see that trend reversal and then the selling stops and we're off to the track again, eh? And that could happen. I mean, wait, we've got this 731 thing, and maybe there is something. I mean, I think there's going to be a pump just on that basis. Maybe there's some sort of who knows, whatever. Look, I don't. We could speculate about it.
Even just the event itself, even if there isn't a specific announcement at the event, I think just the hype and buzz at the event, if there are large players there, they might just it only takes one dude who's at this thing to just go, you know what?
I believe now.
Love this. I love this vibe. I love the people that I've met. I'm just going to go in large, and that would be all.
The money. There's a lot of money out in the world floating around. There's a lot of money just looking for places to go at the moment. We know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it is a quality alt, as you say, Tangent, from an industry perspective. Now, to me, it's the best crypto myself. That's my view. I might have a confirmation bias or the fact that I'm in it, that I believe in it. So
people need to cast their minds back to when we were on this run. Oh, the chart's gone. But when we were basically going from all the price action from 10 cents all the way up to 50 cents, the fundamentals have not changed. So the desire that people had to get into this, what do we call it? We don't call it a product, that to get into this crypto asset, the fundamentals have not changed. So all of that, the quality of it has not changed. So it's just that what Richard always says about reflexive systems. People get scared and don't want to buy things. They want to sell when the price is going down, and they want to buy when the price is going up. So I think some upward price action would really assist in getting the momentum going in the other direction, i.e. to the upside.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're right. You're exactly right. It's as soon as, and we see this every time, it takes a long time for the market to sell down. Everyone gets scared. You've got those cascading sells, and the same thing happens in the reverse as well. As soon as you get a little bit of positivity, then everyone goes, "Oh, oh, that was the bottom. I don't want to miss out now. So then they all start to pile in. It's it'll be interesting to see whether this is a double bottom or not. Technically, it's hit a few key levels.
It is the same level, isn't it? The level that we just went to is almost, in terms of daily closes, we basically closed at the exact same level, 16.8 cents. So yeah, that would be a double bottom if it ends up being the bottom.
And guys, just for a little bit of context, this price point where we're at right now is basically where we all sacrificed at in the first 5 days of the sacrifice phase for Pulse.
Probably, no, it's a bit
15,
higher.
15 to 18. It was that was the price range.
Really?
So this is where everyone sacrificed, right? And then we had the price run up from that point. Actually, I think it dipped a little bit and then it went back up. So that was only like four months ago that happened. I just think that what happens is if the price runs up a lot, as we see in crypto, people take profits, and it's just a natural correction that happens. And there's no reason. The way I see it is it's an opportunity to get some cheap T-shares. That's the way I see it. $1,000 T-shares, $1,000 T-shares right now.
Let's flow on from that a little bit. So there's two people that have done really great streams. Well, they always do great streams, but done really good ones that I think are worth going to watch. And that was a Wales only one from, I think it was 2 days ago, where he went into the PE ratio side of things and how that applies to HEX. I think that's worth a watch. And I've had to rewind it a few times and write down on a piece of paper and work through the maths along with it to try and get the full concept.
Is that price to earnings?
Yeah. Yep. So that's definitely worth a look. And the other one, so that's from a sort of a macro look at the system and how the value is getting built into the system.
Is that the one with markable thoughts in it?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Yep. And I think it was Karim that done one recently where they talked about these large stakes that are due to end over the next. I haven't even looked at them, to be honest, when they're ending, but I think it's over the course of throughout December. There's a whole bunch of a whole bunch of OA stakes. So I guess it'll be all eyes on those to see what action they take. I think I'm almost 99.9% sure there's not going to be any selling. But it's just whether
I thought the OA was completely unstaked now. Is there
no? There's strategic ones all the time.
You got stacks of stakes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that I had a recollection that OA only staked for a single day over big payday. I thought that was the deal.
No, it's got stakes going out long. Oh. Like you can check it. You can have a look on Gunter's audit.
Okay.
And I think it's good to have that because it gives you a few levers you can pull. So if you wanted to do a quick coin distribution, you could just EES a stake. If you wanted to change the interest rate, you've got the ability to do that. If you want to ramp up the daily payout, you could introduce more inflation. So there's a whole raft of things that can be done to do that. So be interesting to see how this shakes out. But I can't imagine doing anything that would be detrimental to the system.
Yeah, and HEX has got a good point. If the OA doesn't restake that's interest going to all the other stakers.
Yeah, that's right. So you create more supply, but less T-shares.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can change the market cap as well.
Well, it depends how they cap the market cap.
Yeah.
We've got like about four or five different
market caps,
index sites counting our market cap in different ways now.
Oh, did you guys see the new website? It's on. There's a new website where they promise it is legitimately honest market caps, and it's a sub-site of a Pulse site. You guys saw the one I'm talking about? It's
I just assumed it was hexagons.
It's like
How to pulse?
pulseinfo.com/cap or something like that. I'll try and find it.
Oh, this is not the how to pulse one or something?
Yeah, so it's a community member has a Pulse site, like a pro Pulse site, and as a subset of that site, they have a market cap ranking.
Yeah. So
site.
that's the one that T-Bird's put in. Yeah, how to pulse.com.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah. Sorry. Had you already said it?
We have.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a comment from Rob Rutenberg. Just maybe Bloobum, do you want to have a go at this, mate? I hear HEX is technically superior. Could you please explain?
So before we move on, we really need to shill this site, like as in not necessarily here to people who are already in HEX, but I think we need to like propagate this legit cap ranking site for everyone's benefit.
Have you guys vetted it? Have you vetted the site?
Well, I mean, it's.
They're giving us the highest possible market cap. That's the point, I think.
I mean, I don't want to sound biased, but it's a sub website of a pro Pulse website. So they're already.
Let me bring it up. What's the website?
Maybe they've gone through every other project and taken out the founders' coins, have they?
howtopulse.com/real market cap.
What's it called? Pulse.com.
howtopulse.com/real market cap. All like no gaps, no dashes, just all in one word.
I think the whole point of that this whole market cap thing, well, all this shows is that you can't compare these different coins and tokens by market cap because there's different ways of measuring market cap, and because they're different. Some are proof of work and some are proof of stake, and they have all sorts of different kind of like.
Go check that and see if
Pulse.
BNB's ranked 201. Oh no, it's 3. I thought X Machine was legit.
The point here is not retaliation. The point here is attempted honesty. Like it's literally
that would be funny though. That would be
funny.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, we know HEX rewards honesty, and that's a good thing. And there's a lot of unique tools in HEX, and the best place to go and source them out if you're new coming into HEX is hexnoob.com. On there is all the links. Some of the I know that the links to technical specs, like for example, and I've used this site when I've been onboarding people. For example, you can't get to the audits. The audit comes up with the Coin Fabric site, things like that. You got to get the HEX audits, the triple audit security. There's 2 security audits, 1 financial audit, and you've got to get that through the hex.com through the technical specs. But yeah, there it is. Really good, some really good calculators, and they've brought back that that visual sort of thing, so you can see that the future of investing is here. You put your money into here, you stake it, and you're earning interest. And at the moment, because there's only less than 10% of the total circulating supply or the total supply of HEX that's staked, you're getting 40% APY, and that's on average. And the average staking length is based on the staking behaviors of, I guess, the staking class within HEX. At the moment, if you stake average, which is about 5.8 years, you will receive 40% annual percentage yield. Now that is amazing. That's incredible. There's nothing like this in the world. You go and put your money in the bank, you're flat out getting 1%. So to me, it's a no-brainer. But I've seen it in action in real time in the real world, and I've actually introduced a lot of people to HEX, and they've done well too. And that's there's no ulterior motive here. I've got no hidden agenda or anything like that. It's just us talking about, the crypto, looking at it broadly and looking at what we think is equality. And when you talk about immutable code, it's locked in. It's really a breath of fresh air. You're not dealing with project teams. You're not dealing with people that sit in offices and propeller heads and do all this like computer stuff. You've actually got something that's a smart contract that's done. It's complete. It's got the best game theory in all of crypto as far as I'm concerned. And the fact that it can do all these really high level advanced mathematical calculations in real time with thousands and thousands of people. I think we're up to like 70, 80,000 stakers right now. And then there's something like, 300,000 holders. Now, in a real world sense, that's a drop in the ocean. So to think that you're coming in, if you're getting in now, you're still, this is really, really early. And the entry point at the moment is phenomenal. You can do really, really well. Not financial advice, but you can if you put your money into HEX and treat it like a bank account and just, earn trustless interest. It's amazing. It's credit. There's nothing else like it. None of these other coins do the same thing. There's no use case for all the other coins.
Rob Rutenberg asked a question a little while back. Well, not really a question, but he's asking someone to explain why HEX is technically superior. Didn't you give that a go?
No admin keys.
No admin keys.
I think that's kind of like. I mean, obviously, that question is like, well, what do you mean compared to what? Technically superior to in what sense? But like, I think the most obvious thing is that it is immutable. It is unchangeable, and that, like, when people say it has no admin keys, it means that there is no function in that contract where an admin or anybody can change anything ever. So it's set, it's complete, and it's finished. And in that way, it becomes modular. And it means that that contract can sit on another blockchain, like it can sit on Ethereum or it can sit on the PulseChain. And it's always going to behave how it does. And so it's got it's only got like 4 different things that you can actually do with the contract. You can start a stake, you can end a stake, you can send HEX, or you can do something which is called good accounting, which is kind of not so necessary to know. But that's all you can do with it. All of those 4 things. And it does those things quite competently.
They're the 4 things you can write to the contract. You can write with those 4 things, but you can actually do more with it. If you go to etherscan.io and click on the contract tab and then click on, there's a read and there's a write button. If you click on read, you can actually go in and just call information from the contract, and you can just get information. You can plug things in, and if you've got your stake ID, you can search for stakes on an address and different stake IDs, and then there's all sorts of bits of information that you can get from that read function, which then can help you do other things. For example, like do the good accounting without being in that same address. Like, has anyone here actually done a good accounting with that's not from the address of the stake? Has anyone actually done that?
No, I haven't. No,
I have.
How'd you do it, Tanja?
I did it for that ex-girlfriend that I gave HEX to because I knew she wasn't monitoring her stakes. And so I thought I was just going to let her bleed out. And then I was like, I better not. That's pretty petty.
So like, can I ask,
I used the one that was, it's the one that, like, it's a very basic looking website. So basically like black and white. It's like
backup HEX.
Another hex.com or
another hex
or whatever.
Another hex.win, yeah.
Yeah. So I punched that in. You just put their Ethereum address in, and it gives you the ability to do the good accounting, but you pay the fees from whatever wallet you have connected. So I just paid the ETH, and at the time it was very inexpensive. It was not in this. If it had been like $1,000 to do it, I would have just been like, too bad, bitch. But it was back when it was back when it was like nearly free to end stakes. So I was like, I'm just being an asshole if I don't do this.
So this really goes to why HEX is technically superior, because the reason you would do that, you would run that function, apart from saving someone from bleeding out, but you could run that function if it's not feasible for you to end a stake in a taxable year. You might want to run that function that you defer the taxable event for a different financial year. So that is a technical thing that you can do with HEX.
The other reason, I think, the other big reason that it's technically, or the other way in that it's technically superior to other stuff, is that it's self-balancing. So the HEX contract works out how much interest it's going to pay every day, or not how much it's going to pay, how much it's going to accrue to each stake. And so it divides up all of that interest, which includes the inflation of the coin plus any penalties that people have incurred, and it disperses that so that it accrues to all of these different stakes. So it's like, and then once you get into the share system, that's where it's really just like big brain, amazing, elegant, simple, but beautiful technically, because it is a self-balancing thing. But what it's doing is it's because it costs more and more to buy a T-share as people are ending stakes, that's what ratchets up the
share rate.
The share rate. And so that's how it actually perpetuates this big rolling kind of wave of...
And the upping of the share rate makes you want to stake for longer when you end stake so that you can recapture the same amount of T-shares. Yeah. So it's something that's been thought out and designed to keep you involved in the system.
To align incentives, to align like selfish incentives from all of the players.
So that you might ask...
So you'd say for the greater good.
But you might ask, why would I want to stake longer to maintain T-shares? Because T-shares are what give you your daily... They are what give you the payout. So once you're used to having a certain amount of T-shares and getting a certain payout, then you don't want to lose that payout or get less. So when you end a stake, you're like, okay, I can take some off, but then I want to restake a portion of it. And I might have to, well, not I might, I'm going to have to restake that for longer because the share rate always goes up. I'm going to have to restake it for longer. And it's just, everyone is doing this in the system. And it's gone from being, you know, a 4-year average stake length to now we're almost a 6-year average stake length. And it just
it was actually less than that at the beginning. Day 43 was actually something like
absolutely
2.5 or something like that. It was at the start, and the average staking length has been increasing through the whole last 2 years, and it's as you rightly say, it's
almost six
it's
years
5.83 right now.
And look, just moving on from that question, we have another question in the chat. If I want to swap my HEX for
day 43, sorry, I was just going to very quickly expand specifically on something that Bloobum started saying, but he covered it broadly.
That was well put. I was really good, Bloobum. I enjoyed that.
You could say that it does everything, like it does very similar things or the same things that what Bitcoin does. So, like those main big heavy hitting things like censorship resistant value storage and transfer, like those amazing items are true of HEX as well. So sometimes we forget that those things they're massive, and you know, but I mean, you could argue there's probably other cryptos that could claim that as well, but it's still worth noting. Yeah, sorry, go on.
And it pays you for your time commitment. It monetizes time, you know, and that's something that
every single human has equal access to, except according to
valuable asset.
So going back to this question here, if I want to swap my HEX for Pulse at launch, will I need Pulse to pay for the swap? If so, as I didn't go into the sacrifice, how will I get Pulse for the swap? You could just have a little bit of Ethereum.
Leaving everyone's. Did you guys hear that?
Have a little bit of
Richard's
Ethereum.
not doing the clawback anymore.
Yeah.
So if you've even just got like a tiny amount of ETH in that address, then you're sweet. You'll have Pulse.
That's it.
That's the short answer.
You just need a little bit of ETH in that account, and you should be fine.
The fees at the start are going to be infinitesimal.
Microscopic.
It's going to be so cheap to transact on the network because the validator is going to be.
It just might be free.
It could literally be free. It could. The validators could allow transactions at the start with no fees, just to help. Like, but there's no guarantee of that. Sorry,
no.
But I think.
But why wouldn't they?
It would probably be fractions of a cent.
Yeah, it'll be nothing. It'll be nothing. It'll be a game changer.
There's definitely not going to be the sort of demand that's going to fill the block space. So why wouldn't you just let free transactions go through? So actually, that's actually a really good point. This is something I learned off of Bitcoin Maxi, who I won't name. You can always just do your transaction with zero fee if it's a new network. And if it doesn't go through, then just bump the fee. So start with free, or like in the case of Bitcoin, like start with 1 Satoshi per byte. And then if that doesn't work, then bump the fee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you imagine being a validator just sitting there going, "You cheap bastards"? Everyone, we're all bootstrapping
We all are.
together.
All
Right?
are.
Like,
Hey, you're bargain hunter central, mate. Look, you love you love a bargain. Come on now.
I've seen the way David gets excited. David Feeder is super excited about his validator node, man. I think he would be excited just to see transactions flowing through that bitch. Like, I don't think he would care about whether it's bringing in dollars or not. You know, when you truly are in it for the tech, you're not stressed about whether it makes money or not.
But and look at it from this point of view. So when you go to do something on ETH, how much do you think about every transaction you've got to do? How much is it going to cost? Do I really want to do this? Do I need to move this?
Yeah. You're right. It's an extra step in the decision-making process.
Oh.
You're
When you
absolutely
remove
right.
that-
It's an additional hurdle for people to actually interact with the network.
Yeah. So if that's removed, there'll be a larger volume of transactions go through, which, who knows, at least hopefully we'll have full blocks. It would be not, obviously won't have full blocks to start with, but it'd be good to start seeing, those fill up with lots of transactions that people don't have to think about.
I think the thing that would quickly fill blocks is if there are bots that are bots and things like that that are just that would start to fill blocks quite quickly.
Well, I was going to say that's probably half the problem on ETH, but I think that all the guys that do the ARB stuff with bots has probably moved to different chains by now. I would imagine it's not feasible on ETH anymore. But yeah, I'm not sure what stream
it was on. It was like maybe a couple of months ago. I heard Richard Hart saying that he had some tricks up their sleeve for those sorts of shenanigans. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I think that was for Flash bots or something, wasn't it?
Flash loans.
I just assume that they probably have, like, he probably has some tricks up his sleeve for all sorts of shenanigans that could go on. I mean,
there's been a couple of times he's mentioned tricks up his sleeve that we haven't seen yet. That is probably not going to happen until
stuff for scaling, some stuff for flash bots, like
shout out to
minor extracted value.
Crypto King. What's this about the staker app comp? There's a staker app comp as well at the moment. 10 willers every week, top prize, $2,000 in USDC.
How do you enter?
You make
that's news to me. I know nothing about it.
You make a Quattro sync. Yeah, and every week they're drawing out 10 people, and they win a certain amount of money.
Any limits? Like, does it have to be for a certain amount?
No, I don't think it's based on the size. It's more.
Is there a minimum?
So it has to be done through. It has to be done through Stake app, obviously.
Yeah.
So it has to be done through Stake app. No minimum amount, and it has to be. But there's a minimum.
Might be $100.
The thing is right. A lot of people don't have computers. A lot of people don't. A lot of people have just mobile phones, and and that's a really good one.
Young people that don't have computers, that is do everything on their phone.
And so that app has enormous potential. I know we use it. I use it all the time, and it's great because I don't have to log in and check everything. And I just like looking at it because I can check the market. I can look at the price. I can look at how my stakes are going, and the total value of the portfolio and all that stuff is really, really good.
Oh, yeah, and just a way to track which stakes you have coming up and from which accounts.
I love it. And I wonder what Pulse Staker will be like. Just another thing to look at, just a pretty thing to look at. I mean, when it's pumping.
One. Yeah.
Is it likely to be all in one app, or do you think it'll be two separate apps?
No, it's one app. I think.
And just our shout out to Turtles Only as well, because I know what it's like. Because I started with nothing and I've still got most of it. So
Turtles Only.
don't feel like I know what it's like to be wrecked pleb, because I'm an uNrekt pirate.
Hey man, I don't even think turtles are really that plebbish anymore, man. I think there's some turtles that would be like on some decent coin.
Just a comment he made.
I think so.
I said about no people don't have computers. people don't have money or people don't
I
have.
saw
Because
phone
Turtle's
to
on
tweet.
be grateful for what you got. Yeah.
I saw some tweet that said like, I mean, obviously this was probably when we were near all-time high, but there was some tweet that went out that was like, turtles are now earning like at least X amount of money per day or whatever. And I was like, damn, that's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, they're decent.
There's a question here. I sacked through Trust Wallet and you can't add a custom RPC. Okay, so I'm not sure. So is Trust Wallet non-custodial? If you got a seed phrase with that wallet, and you'd need to look into this, that seed phrase might be able to be restored into a hardware wallet, and then you should be able to connect up that hardware wallet through MetaMask and then do it and then change the settings that way. I actually
heard the answer to this from a Bitcoin maxi very recently. It was something I wanted to know for a really long time. Like, are seed phrases compatible across different hardware wallets? And the answer he gave is, if it's a 12 or 24 word seed, it almost certainly will conform to the bit fucking 39 or whatever whichever the standard is for mnemonic phrases. And so you can restore, you should be able to restore 12 and 24 words across like any hardware device. Unless it's the Brave crypto wallet 24 word seed phrase, which doesn't conform to any standard, and then you're screwed. Yeah. Really?
The crypto wallet on Brave.
Do that? Why would you go non-standard?
Because they are like the 12 word seed phrase that you get with the crypto wallet. That is you can restore that to you can restore that to MetaMask or Ledger or anything. But if you get the 24 word seed phrase in the crypto wallet in the Brave browser, and then you go take that to any other wallet anywhere and restore it, you're going to get a different set of you will not be able to recreate the addresses that you had on the crypto wallet. So
so it's using a different derivation tree.
And I think that one
you're doing something different than that, man. It's not even doing doing something differently, completely different.
Because that one you're actually able to stake from that one as well, aren't you?
That's why you end up in different addresses.
They're developing that wallet though. They're like
they've already done it.
Yeah,
they've already done it.
They've released it as well. Yeah.
They've had to try hard to do that because it looks like they've just taken MetaMask essentially.
Yeah.
Wrapped it into the browser. So then they've had to deliberately mess with this to make it incompatible. I just
any news? Do you guys hear any news on the Pulse version of like Richard's version of MetaMask or whatever?
I personally think that would be low priority.
Later. Okay, low priority. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Tangent. I don't think it's the derivation path, and I'll tell you why. Because if you use the Ian Coleman tool, you can actually go in and type in the words, and you can fuck around with the derivation paths and do that sort of stuff. So they actually use. There's a thread on. There's a thread on GitHub relating to this specifically, and their explanation was that when they were making the wallet, compatibility wasn't in their design parameters. So they just made it the way they made it because that's
they're the Apple Macintosh of the crypto world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes no sense.
In this space, that's the one thing you would want to do. Is the only reason you wouldn't do that is if you wanted to lock people in to using
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's obviously what there's within their minds.
Yeah,
that's what everyone wants to do. Is to lock
normally it doesn't. Normally that won't affect anyone. Normally that would never affect anyone because people go, "Oh fuck this," and just send their funds to another thing. But if you've got HEX stakes on one of those things, now you're stuck with it for 15 years, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hey, how are we going with how are we going for time? How are we going for the Oracle of the Week? Because I know that I'm like the reigning champion. Predicting the future.
Tangent's going to be disappointed. He is going to be the furthest one away. You don't know how to enter dollars and cents.
Oh, did I put it in as like $176 or something?
You put in like $21 or something.
That's the first time I've made that mistake, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the chat. Thanks for helping out with all the question there about the I guess the what we call it under the ocean league table thing with the amount of T-shares based on T-shares based on staking, and I see that Rune Skies helped out that question. I've recreated one of the sea creatures here. Have a look at it. Look, it's me shark. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, nasty. Oh, he's still got it.
What is that made out of?
Oh, it's like a sculpture. Originally, these are crafted. An English artist called Matt B. And
that is really effing cool.
He makes it out of clay, and then they create these molds, and then they pour resin into the mold, and then and then it's So it's like,
man, that is sick. That is gangster as.
Yeah,
I love it. It's cool.
It is cool.
There you go.
I love it. Can I order that online? Can I get that?
Mate, that one's a limited edition, but you can get the turtle. I'll go get the turtle.
Oh man, I don't want a fucking turtle. I want the shark.
So here's the hex oracle.
Live
TV.
Okay.
I want
if
my
it's
spirit
non-custodial,
animal.
you should be able to load it, mate. You should be able to load it into a ledger or a Trezor.
I can hook you up, Tanja.
That actually is also cool. I actually feel bad for disrespecting the turtle now because that's actually also very cool. I might actually like that as much.
Hey, mate, don't knock the turtles, mate. Hey, look at that.
Man, they'll outlive all of us. Turtles just chilling.
Really cool.
Hey, mate. That's the go, eh?
That is very cool. Can you flick me the website uNrekt after the stream?
You got a dolphin?
Yeah. I've got a squid. I've got a squid. And, there's a squid as well. And then look, unfortunately, I've still got a little bit of gluing. I shattered this, by the way. So it really is limited edition. I dropped it and went to it smashed. And I've been gluing it together for the last couple of weeks, and I've just got a couple more bits to go.
Tell the truth. It got knocked over during bedroom activities.
Mate, what happens in Bris Vegas stays in Bris Vegas. Yeah, I don't like to talk out of school, but yeah.
All right.
With all this downward trend, what else is there to do around here besides rooting?
Hey, uNrekt, did you know that sharks have two penises?
Do they really?
Well, what? Two penises? I was going to say 2 heads and no dick.
They've got 2 grooves that are like, I guess
they really?
people say they've got 2 penises.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. No, I did not know that.
Like in year 12 biology, mate. There you go.
I've got plenty of crabs. I've got plenty of crabs too. You want to see my crabs? Come over and I'll share them with you.
I can't wait to have beef with someone on Twitter where I'll be like, I'm a hex shark and you can suck both my dicks. Oh.
Well, that's interesting though. It's interesting though that the amount of T-shares that you need to require to get into the next league up is actually coming down. It's some mathematical. I don't know. Just something new that I've been looking at and just trying to study the game theory and some of that. Obviously because we're trying to. If you're a true hexagon, you're trying always in an accumulation and you always want to get more. But because I notice. But you know what I mean? Like, so what is it? Something like about 10,000 T-shares or something like that. You need to be a shark.
If the OA doesn't restake these stakes that are coming out in the next couple of days, then everyone goes up in terms of the
percentage of the pool. Their percentage of the staked pool.
That's right. It's a share pool. It's ranks to the share pool. Yeah, the total share pool. Because
so whatever it is to become a turtle it becomes a lower bar.
That's right. At some point in the future, the deflation of function of T-shares.
There's less shares, then you need less shares to be
the percentage to be a turtle is the same. The percentage to be a turtle is the same.
The percentage is the same, but how many T-shares you need goes down if those T-shares come out.
Yeah. Yep. If the big dogs are ending their stakes
and not restaking
either correctly on time or EES. Then other people can move up just by being patient. Yeah.
Something like that.
So currently we have 10.8 million trillion T shares.
And how many are in those
You say
stakes?
million trillion.
Yeah, so
Million.
10.8
million
million
T-shares.
T shares.
It's been around there for a while, hasn't it? That's kind of seems to be the level.
I think it
10.8
peaked at about 11, I thought.
Quadrillion.
Oh, really?
It
Oh,
was
no. I mean,
11,
over big payday, it went way higher.
Oh, yeah. But, just
Yeah.
recently it was around 11. And
Oh,
then
really?
dropped off.
And it's come down a bit.
Hey,
Actually,
uNrekt
have we-
Pyrate. The chat's
What is-
asking you to put your animal, where you got your animal link in the chat.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a bit of that's a long story but I'll have a look for you because I bought it from a really strange place. But yeah, there's a I don't know if they have a website directly. The artist's name is Matt B and he's on Facebook, so you can look him up, and then from there you got to try and work out where you can actually get the sculptures because, as I say, they're actually an artist has done that with clay, and then they've created these molds, and then they've poured the resin in. It's like a resin that they've poured into these molds, and then they've sold. They on sell the sculptures now. He does I've got like some other amazing ones. I've got like a cobra, king cobra. I've got like a leopard, and it's really good stuff. It's beautiful. It's beautiful artwork, and I'm not sure if he might actually be from London, believe it or not. But yeah, I'll have a look. I know it's on Facebook. I don't know the actual direct website from where you can buy them. I actually had to go into a place and buy them from like in the old school, like in the old days when you actually had to go into the shop and it was bricks and mortars and buy shit. It's like
I remember. It was a long time ago, but I definitely
Yeah,
remember.
it's one of those sorts of
memory.
All
Are
right.
we going
here's
to
a
do
quick-
the
Oracle of the week. Oracle of the week.
Yeah, we can. Before we do that pop quiz, how many current stakers are there in the system? No, don't be cheap, no, Gio.
Just under 79,000.
There's a
So
couple of
around
different numbers.
Current stakers.
Oh, current stakers 273,000.
how many stakes or stakers?
Stakers.
Oh, well, that depends. We don't know.
70,000. Oh,
But that's assuming like you have a certain amount of
But
stakes.
Daily hex stats. Daily hex stats.
Yeah, daily hex stats. So we're up to 71,500. That's at the moment increasing at on average of about 60 a day.
It's just going up, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's in a
What's
quiet
better to look
period.
And
What's
each
better to
user
look at
adds
those
value to the
overall?
system.
That's a
Every
guess.
user adds value.
71,000. That's just a total
Anyone
guess
that's in
based on
hex
how
has a
many.
value.
It's 344, just under 345,000 open stakes.
That's
the
it.
system
That's
at the
what you want
moment.
to look at. Yeah.
Okay, you reckon that's a better stat, the open stake amount?
Yeah, because that's a
No.
real stat. You know what I mean? Like, as
Yeah.
opposed to how many stakers there. We don't know how many stakers there are. You're assuming how many stakes per person.
So where did you pull that from, Day 43?
I've
Just on
always
screen
said that. I've always said that Staker app is
Hex.vision.
going to be the most accurate way
Yep.
to know the number. Their estimate is going to be the most accurate because they
Yeah,
can
that's
see how
reading.
people
That's reading
group.
directly from the blockchain. Hey.
No, because the Staker app has got the added information. They can see how people have grouped their addresses together to try.
Oh, but
and
they say they're assuming, like when they say how many stakers there are, they say that there's little things saying, where is it?
Or does it explain that they're using individual addresses or something?
They say that yeah, it says somewhere. I think that
Etherscan has some info on this as well, so I'll just look that up. On
It's 71,702 stakers, and they're assuming 5 stakes per user. So they're just taking the total number and dividing it by 5.
What? Why don't they actually use? I guess maybe that's better for privacy that they don't go and actually look at. But
there's 270.
But maybe they know that
holders.
the average. But maybe they know that the average is around 5. and that's why they're using 5.
So
You know,
this,
I stopped looking at Staker app ever since the price went under about like 35 cents.
Same tangent.
I'm just like, I'm not fucking opening it.
hey, gas is cheap, by the way, guys. Gas is cheap, 89, but
Guys,
it's under 100.
The ETH price is actually exploding at the moment. So
I know it's pumping hard.
It's pumping hard.
It was like 4,000 like a day ago or something.
What's it now?
It pumped like $100 in the last hour. It's 4,600. Like that's good news for Hex. We're still built on top of ETH, you know. Like we're still a part of that ecosystem. And one of my strong beliefs is that Hex will make a new all-time high against ETH this cycle before the end of this bull market. So the higher ETH goes, the more of a slingshot it's going to be.
Should we have a look at the Hex ETH chart?
Oh yeah, getting crushed. Like we're getting absolutely crushed.
Right.
Like real bad.
Have we held that that double bottom though, or that key support?
It depends how this candle closes. So there's still a chance that we can stay above that last low and not make a lower low. But we've got the hour only just started, so I'm just looking at the hourly.
There's that Edge Matt Buckley's guy's name, and it's called Edge Sculpture. Anyone interested in that?
Edge Sculpture. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm keen as.
He's got some beauties. He's got some crackers.
Like that's holding pretty well on a daily, hey?
And it's gold coast, hey?
Assuming it holds there.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember when we were talking about it when it was down here?
He's from England.
We were talking about it here. We were wondering whether it was just going to keep dropping down, and then it just it just went up and then down and just kept going up, and now we've come back down to this. It's a good time to be swapping ETH for Hex. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except make sure you got enough for gas.
Make sure what?
You can buy that back. All right, we doing the Oracle?
It's Oracle.
Let's do the Oracle. We're coming up to time, ladies and gentlemen. So
are we?
Let's.
Well, keep saying not uNrekt.
An hour and a half, mate. I'm just talking about the algorithm and all that. Like people don't want to watch 2-hour stream; they want to watch like flat out watching a half an hour. So, now we used to start. We used to do 1.5. I don't know anything. I'm just saying that's my theory.
Even
I was just wondering, did you ask him?
I'm sick. I'm sick of you now. I've got something to do.
Staker app might be a bit boring at the moment, guys.
See you later,
but
bro.
there's that much excitement going on with Pulse launching and then the new Pulse swap thing in the London meetup. I mean, things are just getting started now. Like,
I love his all.
The documentary's coming out, and there's so much cool stuff happening. So,
is there any pumpermentals from the December meetup?
Pumpermentals.
Well, probably not, because unless he's got testnet 2 coming out, which he might announce, that's really the only thing. Because
no, it's going to be great for morale of the community to see all those people together talking, having a good time. And it's going to be so good for the community. Everyone's going to love it. They're going to be lapping it up.
Morale is going
to it's going to instill confidence. Just from a social perspective, it's going to instill confidence in the system.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed.
The Hex Pulse dude's like asking, can you answer a question on end staking? It is the largest ever this week. I mean, I think is that because of the OA's ending a big stake, which he probably he's never sold anything, so he probably won't be sold. What does this affect? Does this affect the price? Well, not really, because like selling affects the price. Ending stakes doesn't affect the price. So they're two separate things.
So really the two things that are likely to happen, either it sits liquid or gets restaked.
People restake. Yeah.
If they restake, then depending on how long it's restaked, might mean you take a bit of a hit on the daily payout. So I would suspect it wouldn't do that to other stakers, but hey, anything's fair game.
I mean, there might be people who have just either free claimed and staked up until this point, and they've just been sitting there licking their lips at how much money they've made, and they're going to be selling as soon as it comes out. There'll probably be a few of those people as well.
Those free claimers, unless you had a massive, massive bag of Bitcoin, the amount of HEX they got wasn't that
much,
great.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys would have.
A lot of them are already
10 Bitcoin. 10 Bitcoin to get 100,000 HEX. 10 Bitcoin to free claim 100,000 HEX, right?
Which is not. Yeah, that's not going to impact
the
price.
But there is a few people who have just made big gains and are selling out. If you look at Gunter's channel, where he posts every now and then, this person, has got 3 million left, they're selling, blah, 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 blah. So, we're seeing people shaken out, there's no doubt. But this is what it is,
So what else does this do when such big, is it a big amount? How long was it staked for? Do we know?
I assume it was done since day one. I honestly haven't checked.
So what this also does is it's going to mint new supply in the way of interest. And once new supply is in the system, then all of the interest that gets paid out then gets calculated, including that new supply that's in the system. So this is how the daily payout should slowly ratchet up over time as new things are minted into the system.
If people are holding it liquid, yeah.
But even if they're not holding it liquid, once it's been minted, even if it gets restaked and burnt, once it's been minted for the first time ever, then it's calculated as, I think it's allocated supply, which includes everything that's liquid and everything that's been minted and then burnt. And then that's what the inflation in the system, and that's what the inflation is in the system is calculated on.
Yeah, but if they're restaking, then that's just getting paid to them. It's not getting generated by them because it's being turned into shares.
No, but you know that how there's a maximum of 3.69%?
Yeah.
Paid out. What's that 3.69%? Or what is the percentage of the system? What is that calculated on? What is the base number that it's calculated on? And that is anything that's ever been minted.
Yep.
So if you've got a stake that hasn't end staked yet, then the interest is not calculated.
Yeah.
It's not used but once it gets minted, then that starts being used. So these big stakes that are coming out are big amounts.
Until it's staked again.
No, it's there. It's once it's been minted, it's always included in the calculation from that point on. And that's how the system inflates.
Oh, okay.
That's how you get that delayed inflation come in.
Uh-huh.
Let's do the
Oracle of the week.
The Oracle.
Okay, so
Oracle. Well, that's me at the moment. Everyone, we're at least 1 week ahead of all of yous.
Yeah, you've done pretty well so far.
I'm the best at predicting the future. Everyone knows that.
All right, so you can chuck that up on the screen if you want. The price, we'll take it as being 16.8 cents. And that puts, how do you say that? Is it idea file?
Idea file.
Idea file. So
we'll just point out for the viewers, we don't make future forward-looking statements about the price, do we now, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, this is someone else doing it for us, uNrekt, so we're off the hook.
Except on the HEX Late Show, we do. We always speculate and throw shit up against the wall wherever we feel like it.
So the idea file is the HEX Oracle. It was very close. He was pretty much bang on. Now, right. Tangent, you were so far away, it wasn't funny. And Dawsey, you screwed up as well, mate. $19.
Hey, where's mine? Hey, where's mine?
I think I was supposed to put yours in and I screwed up for you. But yours was going to be about 14. Yeah, yours was 14.
So I win out of us, right? I win out of all of us.
Sammy Chicka's pretty close.
I think Sammy picked me at the post.
Yeah, I think
What
it's
am I?
that one.
I can't
17.9.
What am I, Jex?
17.9.
What is the price right
Oh, 1 cent off.
now? Are we down?
You see,
Are we really down? Are we
I
really
just
down?
saw
Are we
that.
really down at 16 cents? Surely not. 16.8. Wow.
Thank you, thank you, whoever wrote that. Thank you, whoever wrote that. I really appreciate it. That's hilarious.
What else have we got? So everyone else was pretty reasonable. Everyone was sitting
It's all
around.
sub-mil
Average was probably
fun.
about the 20
Sub-mil
cent mark.
fun.
Sub-mil fun, yeah. uNrekt, you were literally the worst this week out of all us on stream.
I know.
You
I've
screwed
been
the
on the
pot.
hopium. I was on the hopium bomb last week. I was like sucking on the hopium, going, "Come on, Hex! Come on, pump! The bottom's in. The bottom's in." And like,
screwed the
no,
Hex
just
this week.
like. But I
Jexxa.
did have the joy. I did have the joy of seeing the Gunther, the Hex audit on the Telegram, dancing on that dude that's finally emptied his bag out. That's been dumping on us all through October and November, and that's been horrible for most of us who care about the Hex price. But yeah, anyway, I was out. I was out by a country mile. That's fine. So you win some, you lose some.
Hey, Jexxa, idea file is not in the chat. I haven't seen it.
Serious?
So who's next?
Oh,
Who's
it's
next?
not a god again. Is that? How do you pronounce it? Young and Wild. What? He's got the worst screen name. Change your screen name. I can't even pronounce it. Young and Wild, I think it is.
That's my uni mate. We went to uni
Tell
together.
him, get your shit together, buddy. You can't even say
Hey,
your name.
can you please write your name phonetically in the chat?
Just call him anything you want. Trevor.
Yeah.
What was his guess?
Yeah,
Hey,
if you
dickhead,
write your
over
name
here.
in a way that's unpronounceable,
17.2.
you just get allocated a name. It's like, now your name is bitch tits.
All right. No, well done. He has actually been the winner more often than not, I would say.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Trevor. Congrats, Trevor.
Should we call him Young and Wild?
I reckon bitch tits is good.
How do you get
Young and Wild's a good one. I like that's a good one. Yep.
from now on? It's Trevor, because even the phonetic stuff you put in there doesn't even make sense.
Ingve Wild. Sounds like Yiddish.
Oh, we got a winner. Winner. Hey, Oracle of the week. Congratulations. One day when someone decides to, when we not do this for free, we might send out some prizes. But yeah, for that. Hey. Okay, so what about in this little group here, this little circle? Who's the winner of the Kangaroo Court this week?
This was Sammy Chicker, took out the win.
Oh, Sammy!
So well done,
well
Sammy.
done. Good on you, Sammy. Ladies
Winning,
Discourse,
winning.
everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, get on to that. Once a month. When's the next one?
Around
month?
Christmas time, I think we're going to do a Christmas special, so we're not sure of the date yet.
Nice. Can you just make sure that it's only all girls on there next time? Because I was like,
Oh yeah,
hang
you
on a
and
minute.
uNrekt.
Where's all the girls? I was like, there's boys in there.
What, did
Yeah,
you tune into
listen,
those
right?
kids in there?
There's
boys
not
on
that
the girls'
many women. uNrekt
Hey.
Pyrate, and a lot of them pull out last minute. Me and Serena are like, oh, great.
Oh, they
So,
left you
yeah,
hanging
we're
today.
gonna sit there by ourselves.
I thought you
You're
were going to
doing-
get Jenna
you're
Rex
doing
in.
you're doing a great job, man. You're doing a great job.
I thought you were going to
I
get
wasn't having a
XRP
go at you.
Jenna
I was
on,
like,
Sammy. XRP Jenna. I was disappointed. I thought you were going to have her on.
Oh, yeah, that would have been
Yeah,
good.
you would be.
Come
Yeah, you
on,
would be
all you
disappointed.
hectic ladies out there, get on to the ladies' discourse because I know there's a lot of adoring men in the Hex community that would love to see all the beautiful ladies, and I was really impressed otherwise. But yeah, anyway, sorry to digress, but back to Sammy. Are you up to me on the Oracle, or am I still one ahead of you?
Hey Jex, how many? This is the third one that I've sort of come
Yeah,
close
Sammy's
to.
well in the lead.
I'll turn it up, Bluey. No, she's
Right.
not. I'm
Sorry,
like,
I just realised I was muted. Yeah, I don't have those sorts of stats, Sammy. I'm flat out getting
No,
the sheet together.
I'm like the master oracle. I
No,
get
you're
it
not,
right.
mate. I am. So eat it.
Hey, mate, I got better. My TA skills are so good that I don't even need tangent.
Oh my god.
I'm not joking. Yeah, all right.
Hey, Jex, do you want to put the link in for next week's
Oh, I
Hex
forgot
Oracle
about that, didn't I?
chat?
But like I said, I'm
No,
flat
I
out
love
getting this
tangents,
together.
TA.
I reckon we should have a stream where uNrekt just does TA.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a TA. I'm going to do a stream with all the Hexagon ladies that are featured on our thumbnail. By the way, that so I've been copping a bit of flack
TNA
about.
stream.
I've been copping a bit of flack. I've been copping a bit of flack. Apparently, that's clickbait. We have not enough girls. So like we put the really attractive young ladies on our thumbnails, and they are real Hexagons. They have real hex. They're real stakers, and
You'll get some views,
and,
bro. I'm telling you.
we're gonna tee up because we're actually running a competition, and I forgot. I'll make this announcement now. There's a world first exclusive on right here live on YouTube. Is that anyone that predicts who the Hex girl that's featuring on our, if you can guess who the girl is, you will get 1,000 Hex.
How would they?
Like, really?
From where
Yes.
do they like? Where? How do
Is
they?
1,000 enough?
That's
I'm just pulling this. I'm making this up as I go along. I'm making this up as I go
Do
along.
they have to know the
But
girl's name? Like, what are the parameters of this contest?
user invalid. So none of you people that are none of the panel can enter. It's only audience.
Okay.
Will win a prize, and we'll do a special stream, and the girls that will make the announcement of who the Hexagon lady is, and we'll bring them on the stream. Obviously, it's stupid o'clock over in America at the moment, and it could be an American, could be an Australian girl. I don't know yet. I don't know who it is. I don't even know who it is myself at the moment. I may find out who the girl is.
I think you just
eventually.
fucked up.
Did I? Yeah, how's that? Okay. Well,
That's all right. That's all right.
No, I've given you an
That's
Easter
number
egg.
one.
I've given you a clue or an Easter egg of who it might
You've
be
given
or
them
which
one
country
hint.
they
That's
might be
fine.
from. That's a hint. Okay. Now, you know what? There's something like 300 million Americans over there, and it could be any one of them.
Exactly.
So there you go. Anyway.
So hang on, I was tuned in. I was doing something else. So when's this going? Next week, is it? Is that?
No, I think I might milk this. I might milk this one for
Okay.
like at least a couple of weeks. We'll see
Okay.
how we go.
Are you going to be milking it on stream, mate? Like, what are you going to be doing?
Mate, I'm too old for that. I have helpers to do that for me. Yeah.
All right.
Hang on, I haven't shared the document yet. Just bear with me.
I thought you'd already done it.
No, I've
No,
shared
that's
it.
my accidental. I put my tweet in. Let me just give me a minute and I'll put it in there.
I shared it, Sammy.
Oh, did
In
you?
the chat.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
You put it in the private chat. Did you put it in the actual chat?
No,
Yep.
I put it in the
It's
actual
in
chat.
Oh, okay.
did you? Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not fake story, Dorsey. It is true. I am giving away. In fact, I'm feeling a little bit generous. I'm going to increase it to a 1,500 hex for the winner. There you go.
Oh. So
So what
hang
they
on,
got-
you're giving away 1,500 hex if someone can guess. You're muted.
girl.
How much is that worth? How much is that?
That's $1,500 million US of future value being given away right here.
Already got it. Who cares? As long as they.
seriously.
Like a
honestly,
billion.
seriously, I've given away. Don't tell me that
1.5
because I'll have a heart attack if you're.
So you've given
So
given away $1.5 billion of future
Of
value.
future value.
What? 1,500
That's not-
hex.
5 billion.
1,500 hex. That's not worth that much.
Some mil fud.
Future value.
Yeah.
Future
Oh, some
future
mil
value.
fun. Some mil fun. Hey. There you go. So there you go. I've made lots of millionaires so far, and you could be the next one if you win this competition. There you go.
All right. So
Very nice.
I don't know how you're going to draw it or how you're going to run it. Have fun with that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Do they just need to know the young lady's name? Their
Oh, don't
actual
worry.
name?
Don't worry. It'll be
What-
all
what-
on Twitter. It'll be all over Twitter soon. Don't worry.
But is
I'm
that
gonna,
what they have
bomb,
to do?
I'm going to bomb Twitter. I'm going to bomb Twitter.
uNrekt. I'm just trying to clarify for the audience. What information do they need to provide to win this contest?
He's got to work
Well,
that
look,
out.
I have to work all that out. I have to work all that out.
You
I'm
know,
just saying.
you know how I think it could
okay.
be done?
All right.
You know how I think it could be done? And enough to correctly identify the person. So, like, as in, it doesn't need to be their name, but it could be like, you know, the
let's
chick
just say they're on
from-
Twitter. Somewhere
Their
on
Twitter
Twitter,
handle.
there's a girl.
you know,
There's
Twitter,
a girl on
Twitter
Twitter.
handle or something like that.
Yeah, and like you would have noticed the last couple of weeks, there's been like a girl on our thumbnail, and she is like a genuine Hexagon, and she's gonna. I don't even know who she is at the moment myself, so I can't. I'm just saying, like, hey, it's a guessing game.
So, you know what I reckon you should have to do to win? I reckon you.
Who's going to know who wins the competition if you don't even know? You're like, this
I've got
comes in
one
so
of my
wild, I don't even know
senior
the answer.
advisors. One of my senior advisors.
That's real competition.
One of my senior advisors will alert me when I need to know, and when I need to know, I'll let you know. There you go.
I reckon they have to follow her on Twitter and then post a little screenshot of the follow.
Tangent, you shouldn't have appointed me as the chairman of directors for Bitcoin if you didn't believe in me.
I believe in you.
Well, there we go. We're off to the track. Let's go.
All right. We done, are we?
We're done.
Awesome.
So I didn't mean to
Should we do,
hijack the
like,
stream
quick
there, but
sign
yeah.
outs each, like just
Yeah.
like
Go.
quick, like it's like a single sentence sign out. I'll go first.
Oh, really? Oh, you put me on the spot.
Hex is my favorite coin. Peace out.
All right, I'll go next.
Well said.
This is also my favorite coin. And follow me on Twitter, Sammy Chica. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Testnet's going live next Monday.
Woo! Nice one.
Is that a fact? Is that a
I
fact?
have no
Jexxa?
idea.
What?
I've got no idea. You said you wanted a comment. I put one out there.
Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. This morning, I saw in Telegram a channel that said PulseChain.com. I clicked on it, and it was like this big message that looked completely legit. That had PulseChain testnet version 2 has just been released, and it had all this like super legit looking shit. And I took that and I actually forwarded it to like a little group with some of my friends without like looking into it. And then immediately I'm like, this is a friggin' scam, and I deleted it. So everyone be extremely vigilant out there about the info. Nothing is going to happen without it coming out of Richard Hart's. Nothing is going to happen without it coming out of Richard Hart's mouth. So if you see a message on Telegram, see stuff on Twitter, get DMs, just be careful. And you know that unless Richard Hart has actually said it, then it's not.
There
real.
is. Richard did set up
No,
a pulse.
I said one sentence, man.
Hang on, guys. Just pause for a sec.
I'm just kidding.
Guys, before people disappear, Funding Jim wants a link to come on the stream. I don't know if he's got something.
No, we're finishing up. I'll send Funding Jim the link, and we'll have a backstage green room discussion.
That is really important. What Day 43 said, that the scams get now that our community is more educated, the scammers have to lift their game. So it's that shit where they're going to
starving their scammers. We're starving them. They're like,
uNrekt, we always have time for Funding Jim, mate. We always have time for Funding Jim. Okay.
Right.
Is he coming on?
No worries. Of course we do. Yeah. Of course we do.
There is a Pulse Swap Telegram that Richard Hart started, and it's already got about 1,000.
I don't have the link. You have the link.
Yeah.
43. You've got the link, mate.
I'll send it to him.
Hey, Bluey, you go, mate. What are you going to say?
Yeah, there is a Pulse Swap Telegram channel that Richard started, and it's already got nearly 1,000 people in it. So if you want to find that, I think it's Pulse Swap.
Is Richard the admin on that one, or was it set up by a community?
Yeah, yes, it's legit.
No, it's Richard.
Okay, it's
Yeah,
Righto.
yeah.
Funding Jim's in the house. We're gonna extend the stream. We're not gonna finish up, but we'll to say my finest thing. I love hexagons.
Is he
I
coming on
love
the
hex.
stream?
I think we're gonna have funding. I think we're gonna have funding wants to come on and speak to us.
Gary's coming on.
So, yeah. And we're live on the World Wide Web, ladies and gentlemen, and we do appreciate all of the hexagons that join us, and anyone new that's coming into Hex. Please get over to hex.com. All the information's there. Decipher it. Work out what you need to do to try and get involved in the. There's no off switch in Hex, by the way. It's immutable code, as we've discussed. It's outperforming all the other assets in the crypto space and in the world. Mind you, I will say that. We've got trading transparency. It rewards honesty, and that's the best thing. It actually rewards good behavior and you doing what you say you're going to do. It's the first blockchain CD. It is the highest appreciating asset class, we're in cryptocurrency. It's the highest appreciating asset class in history, of course. And there's no middleman. It's you and the code. You be your own bank. And there's low inflation in Hex. It's only 3.69 capped every year, and that's only paid to the stakers.
Yeah, don't worry about all these new sacks and all that kind of stuff. Don't degen.
Yeah, forget all that. Just
buy
here's
Hex
funding,
and
Jim.
stake it.
Here he is, Gary. He's out here at stupid o'clock. How are you, mate?
I got to put my hat on and go to the airport really soon. So I know you guys have been streaming for about 2 hours. I'm going to watch all that content. I download it every time I fly somewhere, but it's really good. You guys really leadership inside this group that uNrekt and OG 43 and everybody, basically everyone in this room, I really respect a lot because you put great detail and it's high signal to noise kind of ratio inside this room. I really love the stream.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Really
That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us showing up every week too, by the way. And you've been a really good encourager right from when we started, and that was like a long time ago, wasn't it? Day 43 when we started. Like was this time last year, and we're all simply about getting the word out about this great innovation.
Almost 18 months ago. Well,
yeah,
almost 18 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when we were hungry for more content that would stream in the States. And then when uNrekt and you guys started publishing, I remember when 43 was still, doing this first interviews and first participating and things like that. And you guys started your own programs. Just really, I think it means a lot. It helps a lot. You'd be surprised how many people in England. So I'm in Madrid right now. I'm going to the airport in about 30 minutes. And London is going to be epic. I mean, epic as far as the content that's going to be generated.
Jealous, mate.
Yeah,
jealous.
Wish we could be there.
Yeah, and it's not just the known entities. There's so much that's going on in the background that, stuff that's signed under NDA, stuff that's, big Wall Street related things. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on that I'm just super excited. I'm excited not just because of PulseChain and not just because of, Pulse Swap and all the different comments that people are making and speculation of what's coming next, but it is Hex. It is the Hex code and product. It is the truthfulness of it being immutable. It is the community that coalesced around it. International. It's not simply, any particular politic. It's not any particular ethnicity or cultural thing. It's just people seeking some sense of truth in money or truth in code. What is money? So very cool that you guys do this stream. And I know that uNrekt wanted to jump off the channel. He's like, hey, I'm about to wrap it up. But I just wanted to say that little piece there.
No, mate. We always have time for you, man.
We always got time for you. Absolutely.
So are you aware of any little nuggets you can give us? Any announcements we can expect? Or you think it's just... and again, I have to be respectful of people that do and don't want to be in the public sphere as far as whether they're in Hex or in PulseChain or their participation levels, because they do get scrutinized by the SEC. They're public figures. This is still a new space. There's still the potential of 2017 blow off top is a real thing that can happen. There can be a bear market, right? So there's still people that are celebrity that don't want to necessarily be on camera, but they do believe in the code. And then there's people that are OG. I mean, fucking OG, 2009 level OG that are supporting Hex specifically. So it's really, really cool as far as who is and who isn't known in the space, especially if you've been streaming, you build over the time
trustworthiness. And when that trustworthiness is consistent over time, then people reveal, what they're doing, and they sense this camaraderie and things like that. So you being good advocates of good knowledge, good, distributors of good knowledge, builds your access to these kinds of people. So just in the past, I would say 4 weeks, I've met 4 different other billionaires, multi-billionaires, people that are very successful inside of spaces, CEOs of Fortune 10 companies, interested in what's going on, not just in crypto, but specifically about HEX, because I can be that voice inside those communities now. It's very cool.
We learn from those people, and those people are mentors, and we learn from them. And I think one of the takeouts that I've learned from watching you, Gary, and from watching some of the work or some of the conversations that you've been having with those high level people is that, or advocacy, it's like the networking. The network is important, like the network effect, or the fact that like when you those connections become actually valuable. You know what I mean? Like they're really, really valuable, and it's more than words. It's more than, I mean, as you say, the truth about money and how to understand it, what's been going on in the world, and looking at things from a broader perspective, and what people actually want to give people that choice, that selection process or natural selection process to choose what's right, and to starve out all the scams, and to get rid of all of the snake oil sales, and to get rid of the all of that stuff. I mean, we've followed Richard Hart, and we've watched him, and we've looked up to him, and like we've gone, you know what, that bloke's legit, that bloke speaks the truth, he's fair dinkum, and I'm gonna listen to what he says, and that's all it's all about. That's all it's about. And HEX is amazing. HEX is incredible, and but yeah, certainly just, I guess, coming back to what you're saying with the networking, the value of that network that you're creating there, and the fact that you're in there with that high level, that higher level, those people that can actually move mountains, says a lot. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to change the world. Yeah.
Well, just hearing you,
I don't want to take discount. It's not that these people are in a different tier or their echelon. They have their own machinery.
They're real people. They're real people.
But really, they're real people. They have the same kind of principles in their mind. They have the same kind of familial attraction, family attraction to building communities and such like that.
Value.
And really, it is because of your communities, people like yourselves that are on these streams, that give a sense of boldness to the people that are watching as an audience, that later becomes a streamer, that later becomes a broadcaster, because they, they see that it can be done, right? Just again, kudos, because this is, every walk of life can benefit from what crypto is supposed to be, in my mind, and what HEX and PulseChain seem to be delivering, right? So there's expectation of what crypto could have been. And I think that had major stumbling blocks in 16, 17, 18, that cycle. And I think that, when people actually look at code, they look at community, they look at, intention of a product, launching a meme product isn't the same as launching something that is as unique as HEX or infrastructure.
Oh, we're not feeding. Yeah, and that's like, like why put people into the meat grinder? Like that's not. I don't want to go to sleep at night. Me and Dave 43, we've had this discussion ad nauseum about not wanting to look over our shoulders. We want to act with integrity and honesty, and just put the word out about this thing, because. Look, we're even though we've grown, we've been picked up by the Discourse Syndicate Network. We've probably got 100 people or so, maybe 200, sometimes 300 watching. We're a drop in the ocean. Look at the world. I mean, we're still so. There's a microcosm, but it's got the values that have been. It's got the culture that's been put in place by Richard Hart, and it's also like with the code. It's indisputable. It can't be touched. It's complete, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It's
one thing that we always do. One thing we always do on our program is we do shout out to everyone in the chat, and we say to them, if you guys are thinking of doing a stream, or you want a bit of, you need a bit of courage, you're welcome to come. Contact us. You're welcome to come on with us, and then go out and talk about HEX. Like, do a stream. I mean, that's what we did. We just were
tell your friends and neighbors.
We wanted to talk about it. So we just jumped on the stream, and anyone who's feeling the same way should do it. You should do it. Why not? You know, it's good fun. I've made lots of friends doing this. And
we're all great mates, and we're all great mates, and we have fun.
My life is better for it. My life is better for it. Like crypto money aside, my life is better for it. Just jumping on stream and talking to these chaps on a regular basis.
Absolutely, I agree. I accept that.
Hey, Gary, I don't know what's your take. I get a feel like we're at a bit of a tipping point where there seems to be we're getting a little bit of traction and recognition from the likes of Crypto.com, obviously Poloniex listing the other day.
Binance.
Do you think we're
Binance is putting HEX on their logos?
Yeah, Binance. Yeah. They tweeted out with HEX on their logos. Do you think we're at that point where it's like more or less a soft launch where they're just putting the feelers out, letting their communities?
Yeah, I think that you know the temptation to bribe your way onto a centralized exchange, pay a couple $1 million, and give a pretty good sack for an centralized exchange to dump on that audience. I think that we stayed the course and didn't do that as a community. We didn't do that Richard didn't do that as a founder. The principles of crypto having counterparty risk, removing counterparty risk and centralized authority and things like that. I think that holding that course as a grassroots kind of movement now has told centralized companies that they need to play ball, and that means that they buy in. It doesn't mean that they have a free windfall simply because they have brand as a centralized exchange. I'm talking obviously about Binance and such. And so those threats, they are real. You can be MySpace and ignore Facebook for quite some time until you lose users. And when you lose users, you might have this mea culpa moment, but it may be too late, right? No one uses really MySpace for that purpose anymore. So there is a tipping point where companies have to recognize either they will buy the competition. That's what Google does. Google buys the competition. When there's something that comes up,
fish eat little fish,
they do it as a, let's bring you into the fold and let's give you lots of money and access, and then you become, effectively an employee of the company that you used to found or lead, right? You become an employee instead. And so that's very tempting. And Google is very good about that. Facebook has been very good about that. Their biggest investment was into Instagram, buying Instagram, or companies that buy Snapchat or other threats, right?
WhatsApp, everything, you name them.
Yeah.
And so that aggregation element and so forth is one thing. But I think that Binance is feeling the heat from Uniswap and DeFi and, products that don't require going through their gateway. So there will be a tipping point, and I think it's a buy-in movement. I think that, like you were saying, is this a tipping point? I think it's a tipping point. I think that PulseChain, when it launches, they're going to have to do something about keeping that audience coming to their CoinMarketCap listing sites, keeping them coming to their centralized exchange trading, rent-seeking kinds of platforms. Maybe that means that they deliver a better product. Maybe it means that they react the way that the telephone companies had to react. When you were AT&T, you had to rent a black phone with a dial on it, and you could not own any other kind of phone. It actually was illegal to have a different kind of phone and use the AT&T network. But they had to have a tipping point, and they did, because monopolies eventually break.
There's a good chance that there were exchanges who would have sacrificed for Pulse, that they have.
Yeah, and I think that now they are going to have sacks. I don't think that he's going to cut out, or I don't think that there's the time or the logistic, or maybe not even the best net effect to cut out centralized exchanges where they will receive coin that their user base may not receive, right? So they're still going to get PRC20s, right? And we have been advising, take it off, put it in your own control, make sure you control the keys. The whole point of crypto is that you are the sovereign, right? And, it's going to be a lesson learned, unfortunately, I think, for a lot of people that say, oh, man, I was on Binance and where's my coin? Why can't I have my coin? Well, you need to bitch at Binance. You need to bitch at Coinbase.
I actually think that is going to be a net positive for Pulse, is if you get enough people making enough noise, they're going to have to take action.
And
just
talks about
as soon as one does it, the others will have to follow.
Yeah, because they will lose their user base. They will lose to a competitor. Yeah.
So what we're saying is HEX is doing everything right, and I think that the community and everything has held firm on that view in that particular space, and I think that's going to win in the end because truth and honesty and goodness should overcome.
Yeah, definitely. It's been hard. We've had to do it the hard way. There could have been you could have taken shortcuts, chosen not to, and
we can see right through it, but like there's people out there that don't have any idea, and that's just it. Like we're trying to get them into the right slot and get them started in the right place, because people getting wrecked in crypto is not good for anyone. It hurts the whole community. People come in and get a bad taste in your mouth, and then they leave, and then that's it.
And you know which of the companies who are doing it now? They're called market maker companies. I put out a little tweet today, I saw somebody, I retweeted something, and like there are these companies which like basically offer the service of wash trading and getting OTC trades and everything like that, and they've been printing up their slides of what they offer, and it's just total corruption.
Yeah.
So that's how
it's terrible.
So how much of the volume in the space is actually real? So when everyone looks at HEX and they go, "Oh, your volume's not much compared to your market cap,"
because everyone else is wash trading like no one's business.
That's right. Yeah.
And I made this comment the other day when I was talking with Whales on stream. There's a published listing of the influencers and what they charge for commenting positively. And so if you are an audience member of Ivan on Tech and he covers your product, he got paid $100,000 to do that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Where did that money come from? It came from the gristle and grit of the audience being ground up.
Wow.
Yeah, where we talked about Bybit and taking off links and things like that, or whatever it was. Yeah, so those kinds of margin trading platforms. And people like to talk about Bitcoin and margin trading and things like that. But you know that the net effect is you go into the casino every single day for a year. You're going to lose. You're going to lose more than you won. Period, right?
Yeah.
So I think that there's a hunger. Even people that, like I see a lot of the simp culture that chase after the pretty woman that has a Twitter account and says something nice about Bitcoin or Ethereum and then shit talks something else, right? That's just simp culture stuff. Don't think that those people are influencing because they care about you. They influence because they will grind you up as an audience member. And it's completely different than the HEX community, the narrative, the attraction, to be part of this Hexagon kind of movement. It's really, really cool. Because we don't benefit. I have spent $250,000 probably on marketing HEX in general. Of course, my transportation, my housing, things like that. The net effect of, I paid $40,000 to be part of this community of George Gammon, Kiyosaki, all these things like that. And I have all of their Rolodexes. I have all of their CPAs, all of their lawyers. I have all of the access, because I'm part of this community now of people that have a net worth of 200 million or plus, right? So all of the associations are because
awesome stuff,
right? And I'm doing that because it doesn't directly benefit me, right? I'm not selling that, reselling that, or somehow. I'm saying, hey, how can I get the best lawyers? There's like 5 of us OG Hexagons that will probably spend between $10 to $15 million on making sure that everyone in HEX is protected. What is your asset protection? What is your liability protection? What is your taxation structure? Those tools are expensive in hybridizing the legacy world with the crypto world, especially for internationals. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we invest in our community instead of grind up our community like other influencers.
That's it. No, that's brilliant.
That's incredible.
Well, Ivan's had a good year because I think when he first wanted to promote HEX, he was only going to charge us 36,000. So that's inflation for you.
And that was after Steph had given 2 times $1,000.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that was the same stream where Steph out of his pocket put $2,000, right?
I massive respect that, and I think that's what I've noticed that about like the heart of the Hexicans is a spirit of community and generosity, and I think looking out for each other, and it's really important. Like there's too much not giving a fuck about each other in the world. You know, it's all about what's in it for me type thing. That whole attitude is we need to change. You know, like this really has the potential to make the world a better place, and we all have to be that change. And so, whatever you can do, whatever means or access, whatever you've got, doesn't matter if you're like it's actually not anything to do with money. It's actually about what's inside, and and what you can do to I guess make a contribution, big or small. It doesn't matter. And it's what binds us together, and I think it's great. I have a great relationship with everyone on stream, and full respect, Gary. I appreciate you coming on and speaking to us live, and you're in a different time zone, and I know that you're going to have an absolute cracker of a time over there in London.
Yeah, have fun.
My hair before
Gary, just super quickly.
Can't wait. I just can't wait to see what comes out of that.
Yeah,
we're all excited. We're all excited.
Are you able to
super
give
excited
us
for that.
any Easter eggs at all? Anything that people don't already know about this thing? It can be small. It can be like, there's going to be a bounty castle. Like just any shit that's like
thirsty.
New info.
Tangent's so thirsty for something.
Chomping at the bit.
Maybe something about a quant fund. Who knows?
You can just make something up.
He's already given you one. He's given you a massive one already.
What was it?
So
to do with the
go watching a
731.
replay.
Yeah. So
it was eye out of the room.
It is about affiliation. So don't sit inside of just your space. Do talk to your neighbors. Outbound messaging is the most important thing. The reason that Kiyosaki bought Bitcoin is because his friends bought it at $6,000 and he bought it at $6,000. That's when he got in. He got in when it was $6,000, and he's super excited over the fact that he got in so early into Bitcoin, right? But you don't tell him that 6,000 is a multiple of a penny. You don't tell him that number, right? Because he's happy at what is that, 8? That's an 8x. So he's thrilled over an 8x, right?
Yeah,
look at the X potential that you have in HEX. Look at the X potential you have in PulseChain or PulseSwap. Look at that multiple potential you have. It's not 8x. I don't care when you got in or when you didn't sacrifice or you buy at the gate and you hold it for 6 months or a year. The potential for more than an 8x is probability super high, right? So what I'm getting at is your outbound messaging in general, and not the shill fest people that, it's kind of like water rolling off of them. Don't spend your time and your energy on that 80%, because 20% will pick up the message and 20% is enough to grow a community and become viral. This can be very viral. And what I'm getting at is people need to know someone that's already involved. I saw Crypto Heartbeat stream recently, and it was like how to onboard over 50 or something like that, right? Whatever his title was. And he just walks through the thing, pretty cleanly for about 25 minutes or whatever stream. And it was somebody that, obviously trusts him, but doesn't know anything about crypto, right? And in 20, 25 minutes, he explains the narrative. He says, do your own research. Here's the links on how to do it. And I think that he should do more streams of other people that are other personalities and other questions. And so should people that are already streaming, like you guys. If you decide to make content, just say, hey, man, do you want to be on camera? You don't know anything about the stuff I'm interested in. I'm going to keep it as clean and quick as I can. And just the personalities and the types of questions people pop up with, you can give them a general primer, like what is Ethereum, what is cryptocurrency in general, before they get on camera. But, that kind of thing speaks volumes. I tell you, I was onboarded. I liked Richard. I knew this other stuff that was going on in general as far as how stuff came on. But I've said it before on the Ladies of Discourse. The reason I came involved was because Serena's early streams. Serena Alonzi, the girl that first started publicly talking about HEX. And she took slings and arrows and got all the heat from the blowback of the community too. But, that's why I came involved. Right. And so you have one of the early ones. Yeah, effect. Good. Your streams have a butterfly effect. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Very good. All right. Well, that's awesome.
That's
Great
awesome.
Stream.
Yeah.
How we going? We're gonna wind up. We do appreciate all the.
I think so.
Look,
We've had
I think
a good run
we had a good call. We had a good chat.
Mad FOMO. Like I want FOMO on this 731. I want to hear something that just makes me.
I think we're going to get a pump. Hey, we never did our predictions for next week, or I missed the link, so we're going to put that in.
I've got a slightly
35 cents.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you think there's going to be an active discouragement for cross pollination about Pulse at this event, or do you think it's going to kind of be like?
No, I think the cross pollination is happening regardless, and I think that we're going to embrace cross pollination. Okay. We're still talking positively about Ethereum, even though everyone knows the gas is crazy expensive. 4,000 developers and all the endpoints of value that are basically trapped by the cost of Ethereum. And Vitalik is trapped. So I don't want to create enemies out of Ethereans. I want them to realize they have value, trading value, and some things can be resuscitated on PulseChain, even though it's prohibitively expensive for the communities to grow now on Ethereum, right? So we do have this collaboration kind of theme. Richard still embraces this collaboration thing. He doesn't talk badly about Vitalik. He says, hey, you inspired our community to go toward greatness, right? With the launch of a PulseChain instead of suffering on this. He said it very well the other day about, how you horizontally scale. We are horizontally scaling Ethereum, right? We are horizontal because we are more pipeline, right? It's Ethereum 1.0. We are more pipeline for Ethereum 1.0. So we're adding capacity. And there's some variables change. There's proof of stake change. There's all these kinds of things that make it more viable in the future, more palatable to the Elon Musks of the world and things like that, that push back about proof of work. So there's all kinds of reasons that we're doing what we're doing, but still we are adding capacity to the Ethereum network, and I think we'll surpass Ethereum as far as a price point. So per unit. So I think it's very exciting.
Per unit.
That is amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing.
I think I won't say it's tomorrow or 2 years, but I think we will surpass it. I think our game theory and our code and our narrative of proof of stake.
It's technological advancement. It's innovation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, look,
everyone chases. Ethereum's a mover advantage in the smart contract world, and everyone knows that it's you suffer on it, but nobody goes to the ghost chain and moves the whole community over. This is the first time you've had the whole.
It's social consensus. Yeah. Wow. So it's exciting times. It's very exciting, and I hope everyone out there in YouTube land, I hope you're doing wonderful wherever you are in the big wide world. I hope you're doing well, and we're gonna sign off for the HEX Late Show this week, and we're gonna see you all next Tuesday, and we'll be back again with more chat. Thanks, Gary, and
I'll
thanks everyone else.
Go green room if you're good.
Yeah, we'll stay. Yep, beautiful.